All right, I hereby call this meeting to order. If everybody would take their seats. Please do not congregate at the entrance. We try to maintain social distancing. Good morning. My name is Kevin Wagner. I am the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate for today's hearing. I want to begin by explaining how this process is going to work. I will hear building cases on the agenda first, then the city will call the cases in the order in which they appear on the agenda. If you have appeared at today's hearing, your case will be called before those cases where no one else has appeared. But that is only true if you have signed in, so make sure that you sign in before you take your seat. Once your case is called, I'm going to ask that you come down to the podium on my right-hand side, which is right over there. The city will put on its testimony and evidence first. You will have an opportunity to review this evidence and ask questions of the city's witnesses. You will also have an opportunity to testify and present me with your own evidence. Once I have all the testimony and evidence, I will make a ruling. I will also enter a written order either today at the hearing or in the next few days, which you will receive a copy of. If you have any questions throughout the process, please feel free to ask them. This is not a formal courtroom. The formal rules of evidence do not apply here. Although this is not a formal courtroom, all testimony is taken under oath. So if you're going to testify or you think you might testify or there's a possibility that you might testify, I'm going to ask that you stand and raise your right hand so that I can swear you in. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under the penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of Florida? Yes. Please be seated. The city may call its first case.
Matter number 1, CE 20090149 4515 South Flagler Drive.
Go ahead, sir.
All right. My name is Tom Ward, Development Services, Building Inspector. On 12/14 of 2016, there was an application for new gates applied for. It was the previous owner, but it was the same address. The next day, it went to zoning plan review, and it failed there. On 12/20, it went through the building plan review, and it failed that as well. The applicant seemed to abandon the application, and the gates got installed. There's 3 gates, 1 on Flagler, 2 on Edmore. On 8/31 of this year, the address took on a new owner, and during the sale process, the realtors discovered the delinquent permit. We went out to investigate, and I had to give them a red tag on September 30th for installing the gates with no permit.
Hold on one second. Is there any way that we could get the conversations happening in the hallway or back out a little farther away? Because it's hard to hear with all that going on. Thank you. Go ahead.
All right, so the red tag was issued, decided Florida Building Code 2017, Section 105.1. They handed that to the owners, talked to them that day. In October 27th, went back down and handed the notice of violation to the owners, talked to them again, and invited them to the meeting.
So if I understand you correctly, the city's allegation is that the gates were installed without a permit,
That's correct.
and the solution is to obtain a permit.
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Yes, Beth Moros.
I'm sorry, your last name was?
Moros, M-O-R-O-S-S.
Okay. And you're the owner of the property?
So we bought the property in August, and in the last week before closing, the unpermitted gate issue became aware to us. And the owner was unwilling to do, the seller was unwilling to do anything about it. So we didn't install the gate. We just bought this house that had these gates. We're doing a new plan. We're doing a renovation to the house and to the landscape, and we are removing the gates.
Okay.
So it doesn't seem to make any sense to have the gates permitted when we're removing them.
When do you intend to do this?
We're going for permit next month. We're in plans right now with an architect and a landscape architect, and we're going to do hedge instead of the gates. But I would ask the court if we could keep the gates until we install our new plan.
When do you anticipate the gates being removed?
I mean, so we go in for permit, how long does that take? 6 weeks to get a permit? And then it has to be installed, the new landscape plan has to be installed. So I'd say realistically, with the housing frenzy right now and how hard it is to get people to do work, probably 3 to 4 months.
What is the city asking for here?
Well, I thought she was gonna keep the gates, and I was gonna suggest 2 months to get a permit or $50 a day to keep, in a fine. But if she wants to take them out, why not take them out now?
Because that leaves us open to Flagler, and there's a lot of foot traffic and a lot of fishermen, and we're right next to a church, and sometimes people park in the church, and I would rather be secure on our property.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you 90 days either to change them up, get a permit, or remove them.
So if we have a permit within 90 days, then that gives us until the change is made?
If you can get the gates permitted
Oh,
within 90
not
days.
the gate, okay, well, we're not gonna get the gates permitted because we're removing them.
Yeah, so, but I'll give you 90 days to figure, either get them removed or get them permitted. In case CE 200900149, I give the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 105.1. Respondent has 90 days to bring the property in compliance, or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue.
Can we have 120 days? I don't know if you realize, but with all the people doing work on their homes, it's impossible, and we have the holidays coming up. It's really impossible to get people to actually do the work and have it installed. I mean, even if we have a plan, I don't think they'll be installed. The hedge will not be installed within 90 days.
Let me ask
We've
this-
got
it's-
Thanksgiving and Christmas
Hold on one
coming up.
sec. Hold
Yeah.
on one sec. What's the city's opinion on that?
Well, there's electric to run, I believe the biggest gate has electric installed to operate it, doesn't it?
Wait, are you the one
None
who
of that was
came-
permitted,
Are you the man who came to my house?
yes.
I'm sorry, I don't recognize you in this setting. Yeah, I told you we were removing them. And you could see why I wouldn't want to be just open to the street there with the church and all the fishermen.
All right, okay. I'm going to leave it at 90 days because you have an unpermitted electrical, and 90 days with unpermitted electrical is enough time. That's my ruling.
Matter number 2, CE 2008024, 2215 Florida Avenue.
Good morning.
Do we have a respondent in this case?
Excuse me?
Do we have a respondent?
I don't believe so.
Has anyone signed in on this?
No. This is a construction case.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. On 8/25 of 2020, stop work order was issued at 2215 Florida Avenue for a retaining wall that was being built without a permit or inspections. We gave them 30 days to comply, and they never did.
Sir, can you
So
speak up just a little bit or more?
We gave them 30 days to comply.
Okay.
And we never got an answer. So they were, on October 28th of 2020, an affidavit was posted on the property, and we never heard anything back from the owners. So this is where we stand now.
So they built a retaining wall without a building permit? Is that what the city's allegation is?
Yes,
And you've heard nothing from the respondent?
never heard.
And what remedy is the city seeking?
Well, we suggest $100 a day fine until they comply.
How many days would you like to give them to comply?
Let's give them another 20.
Just to stay consistent, I'm going to give it 30 days in case CE 2008024, Make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I found the property in violation of 110.3 and 105.1. Respondent has 30 days to come into compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Matter number 14, CE 2008054, 3621 Morton Avenue.
Good morning, Attilio Belisle, I'm Inspector for the City of West Palm Beach. I initially cited the property on August 6th of 2020 for a new sewer line installed without permit, plans, or inspections. We received proper notice via certified mail and regular mail and posting on site. They have applied for a permit number 200800876 has been applied for, but however, the permit application needs to be revised. There's no description of the work that's to be performed. City recommends 30 days and $150 a day after.
So they applied for a sewer line permit. They commenced work before the issuance of the permit, and the permit cannot be approved in its current form. Is that correct?
They did the work without a permit.
So they've completed the work.
Mm-hmm.
Has the city been able to inspect it?
Nope.
Have you had any contact with the owner?
No.
And notice was through mail and posting?
Yes.
Is anyone here on behalf of the respondent? All right, in case CE 200800054, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 105.1, 109.4, and FBC 107.1. Respondent has 30 days to bring the property in compliance or a fine of $150 per day may issue.
Matter number 15, CE 2008091, 7110 Tradition Cove Lane East.
Good morning. Tilio Belisle, Inspector for the City of West Palm Beach. Property was initially cited August 10th, 2020 for an outdoor barbecue grill installed without permits or inspections and plans. Received certified mail and posting on site. The permit was applied for, permit number 190303999 was applied for on March 8th of 2019, but not issued. Since then, the contractor has been in touch with me, notifying me that he has applied for a new permit to do the work, and he's moving forward to do the right thing and by getting the plans and the permits submitted. City recommends 30 days to obtain the permit, $50 a day after.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Good morning, Jacqueline Dingle. I'm the contractor.
So the city says you installed a barbecue without a permit, but now you're seeking to get the permit.
Yes, we had originally applied for the permit, and we had a gas company who installed the gas for the grill, and we were we could not get them to follow through with the permit, and then it kind of just fell through the cracks. We do have a new gas company which has applied for the permit. They have submitted the corrections that were requested by the building department. We also have our own permit that we have put in as well, and we're just waiting to get that approved through the building department. So
The city wants to give you 30 days to get the permit. Is that a sufficient amount of time in your?
I hope so. A little bit longer would be great, just to kind of secure that. I mean, things are moving along and we are awaiting their comments. So, if we could get 30 days, 60 days would maybe be even better to kind of just make sure everything gets done properly.
What's the city's opinion on 60 days?
60 days is appropriate.
All right. Agreed. In
Thank
case
you.
CE 200-80091, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 105.1, 109.4, and FBC 107.1. Responded to 60 days to bring the property in compliance or a fine of up to $50 per day may issue. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thanks.
Matter number 16, CE 200-80110, 1022 Park Circle South.
Attilio Bilal, Inspector for the City of West Palm Beach. Property was initially cited August 10th of 2020 for work being done without a permit, building, electrical, mechanical, plumbing, interior alterations without any permits, plans, or inspections. We received proper notice via certified mail and posting on site. The property has since obtained two permits, one for the mechanical and one for the electrical. However, those permits that were submitted were not related to the complete scope of work that was performed. The contractor has since been notified that he needs to revise his permit to reflect the actual work that was performed. City's recommending 30 days to obtain all permits, $150 a day. Thereafter, they need to obtain the proper electrical permit, plumbing permit, building permit, and a revised AC permit. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, they can get it accomplished because it's a renovation. It's not new construction. The air conditioning permit was applied for, and they called it a change out when in fact it was a new system install, complete system. They had window shaker units before, and now they've got a complete central air conditioning system. So they would have to get load calcs and things done, performed in order to get that plan review completed. No, they can get it taken care of. Thank you.
Matter number 5, CE 20100-238, 1324 10th Street.
Good morning, Laura Borso, Code Enforcement, 1324 10th Street. Per sections 18209A and 18212C, the owners of vacant properties, whether they have structures on them or not, are required to register the property with the city by going through a third-party company called ProChamps and paying a $250 registration fee. This requires the owner to post the property with the name and 24-hour contact of the local property manager. 1324 10th Street was notified by certified mail and regular mail on 10/20/2020, and the property was posted with this information on 10/26/20. The company ProChamps also sent them an obligation to register this property on 6/18/2020. As of 11/17/2020, the owner has not complied with this requirement, so the city is asking that the magistrate find the property in violation, giving an additional 10 days for compliance or $25 a day until compliance is achieved.
Is anyone here on behalf of the respondent? All right, so what the city is alleging in this case is that this is a vacant property that is required under 18209A to register, and that they have not done so.
Yes.
Yeah. And that they need to post the current contact information. They have not done that either.
Correct.
Have you had any contact with the
I'm sorry?
Have you had any contact with the property owner?
No, sir.
How was service done in this case? How was service accomplished in this case?
Certified mail and posting the property.
Okay. All right, in case CE 201000238, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 18209A and 18212C. Respondent has 10 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of up to $25 per day may issue.
Matter number 60, CE 200800025, 632 13th Street.
I'm sorry, I missed that again. What number?
60.
60.
Good morning, Cassandra St. Hilaire, Code Enforcement with the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on August 4th. Certified mail was sent on August 6th. The property and City Hall were posted on August 12th. I've had contact with the property lawyer. The property was cited for 1813J, 1806A, 34102B, 94302A4, 94482A, and 9471C. At this time, the city is requesting an additional 15 days for violations 34102B, 94482A, and 18106A, or $50 per day, and 30 days for the remaining violations, and $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Yes, Daniel A. Hirschman. I'm an attorney in West Palm Beach.
You're an attorney, sir?
Yes, I am.
And you've been retained by the property owner in this case?
Yes, and they're here with me today.
Okay, so tell me what's going on.
Well, this property has a long and tortured saga. And what I'd like to get is clarification. I didn't write down which sections we're talking about. And first thing I want to clarify is, are you asking for fines now or after the compliance?
Typically, in these cases, sir, the city asks for a compliance date after which a fine would issue.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. My clients are working very hard on this property. They bought this property in 2014. They immediately hit a major wall, which was that the owners, it was in a family where there was a death, and they thought they were buying from the right people, and then a member of the family stepped in, precluded them from occupying the property, forced them into a 2-year litigation over which they fought about title until they were finally able to get title. That litigation sapped most of their resources and put them behind the 8 ball by over 3 years. In the last 3 years, they've been working very hard to rehabilitate the property. There is still work to be done. They've been making constant progress. With respect to the vehicles that are there, we agree that it's time already for the vehicles to go, and that will be accomplished within the next few weeks. With respect to all the other items, they're diligently working, and I believe that everything that the city is looking for to be accomplished can be accomplished within about a month's time. With respect to the vehicles, Ms. St. Hilaire and I have already spoken, and I think that we have no problem with getting the vehicles out in 15 days.
But they were in the email thread. He was in the email thread. He knew.
I think probably the easiest thing to do, I'm sorry, is that?
I don't know.
I just want to let the magistrate know that there's also a 2020 chronic nuisance case on this property, CE 200103004. It's my understanding that no action plan has been submitted, and I believe that possibly the property has been locked and we're not able to get in, but I'd have to verify that with our officer.
There's currently a nuisance order on this property?
That's my understanding.
With all due respect, we'd object to anything about that. That's not before you today, and we haven't had any proper notice to deal with that.
John Frasca, West Palm Beach Code. It has everything to do with this case because it goes to the owner's cooperation or lack of. We were able to clean the property through the service order one time. And it was so large that we had to stop because it exceeded the amount that we're allowed to spend. And magistrate, firsthand, that property was a filthy mess with all the appliances and trash and debris and overgrowth. There are junk vehicles in the back of the property. Nothing was complied. After we accomplished that the first time to get it as cleaned as we could get it clean, the owners chained the front of the property so nobody can enter the property, which would be their right to do, but then comply the property, which compliance has not to this day been achieved, nor has an action plan been submitted. We have not had cooperation from the owner.
We're not
of the
going to
property.
litigate that particular case because it's obviously not noticed for today, but I'll take notice of what you're telling me.
Thank you.
So the city has asked in this case for 15 days for 18106A, 34102B, and 94302A4. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
And 30 days for the remaining?
Yeah, 1813J and 94302A4.
All right, so what is 18106A? That's the trash and debris on the
Yeah,
property?
like clean and sanitary, just maintaining the overall maintenance of the property.
All right, 34102B is the inoperable vehicles,
Yeah.
which I can see from the picture. What's the issue with the fences?
I mean, they have done some work to it, but it still needs, it's still holes in them. It's still like, it's missing some of the pieces, stuff. So it shouldn't take that long for them to fix it, but I just gave them the extra 30 days because they did start on it, the rear, fence.
So if I may, I
Go ahead, sir.
ask for clarification on what it is that the city wants done within 15 days, the vehicles, the debris, and what else?
Yeah, once you remove the vehicles, you should comply with the unpaid parking.
So the vehicles,
The vehicles, the clean and sanitary aspect of it, and once you remove the vehicles, that should comply the unpaid parking.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So clean and sanitary inoperable vehicles. And, okay, so 94882A is the
Yeah.
unpaid parking?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sir, do you have any reason that your client could not comply with these deadlines that the city would like to?
No, I think we're okay. We'll get the vehicles out in 15 days, we'll get the debris out. 30 days to get the other items that are on the list, should be fine.
Ma'am, if you're going to testify, you're going to have to
we
come
have-
up here and tell me your name.
Morning. My name is Avia Alley. I just need some clarification, Ms. Sinclair. You said there are holes and missing pieces. Missing pieces, there are a few missing
Ma'am,
pieces.
who are you in relation to this property?
I'm part owner,
You are part owner.
Avia Elliott. So we just need clarification. You mentioned that there are holes and missing pieces. We understand the missing pieces. Some pieces need to be filled in, like slots in the fence, but when you say holes, what exactly do you mean?
Well, it's missing pieces, so you can see through the fence. So once you get that repaired, once you repair the fence, that should go away. The missing pieces is what I meant.
Okay, and just clarification, you mentioned also about painting the fencing, but that wasn't part of the
I did
violation.
not tell you the fence.
Pardon me?
I did not say that.
Okay, all righty. Thank you.
All right, just so I do this correctly. So we're talking about for 18106A, 34102B, 94302A4, and 94482A, 15 days. Is that correct?
No,
No, that's not correct.
15 days is for 34102B, the inoperable vehicle, 94482A, the unpaid parking, and 1816A, clean and sanitary. For the 30 days is the 1803J and 94302A4.
Oh, so you want to give them 30 days for the fence?
Yeah. No, they complied that. I'm sorry, I didn't mention, they complied with 9471C. Thank you.
9471C
It's complied,
is compliant.
yes.
So The fence and the painting, you want to give them 30 days, and everything else,
Yes, sir.
15 days.
You said painting of what exactly? I just want to be clear.
The property, the
Okay,
actual structure.
that's in progress. Okay, we
Yeah.
understand. Okay.
All right. Anything further from either side?
No.
All right. What fine was the city looking for?
For the 15 days, $50, and the 30 days, $100.
If I may weigh in on that?
Yes.
The owners have a number of hurdles to overcome beyond the issues today. While we certainly don't regard any failure to comply as something that should be sanctioned or overlooked, almost any fine will be a hardship on them. I'm not asking you to not impose a fine, but a $50 fine a day, a $100 fine a day would be a hardship. I think a fine to recognize noncompliance might be appropriate, but $100 a day for this property, for its situation, is not going to further anything. It's not going to encourage them to move things along any more than they already know all the odds that are stacked against them. So I'd ask that the officer consider a much smaller fine,
What would you recommend?
$25 a day.
Response from the city?
I think $100 a day is fine, and just as my coworker and the city attorney mentioned, that we have history with this property. I understand that they were going through litigation, but as far as like maintenance, that's something that, you should be able to do. And let's remember, these fines will only come into play if you do not comply. But if you plan on doing everything, these fines are just numbers.
My job as lawyer is to plan for the worst day.
So do you need extra
Yeah, all
more
right.
time?
Yeah, I'm not inclined to reduce the fines because they're actually fairly reasonable, consistent with how the city usually deals with similar properties. However, I will hear you on the time frame. Do you think that there's a reason they can't?
Well, yeah, okay. With respect to the vehicles, still 15 days is fine. With respect to the debris removal, is 15 days okay? 30 days we'd like to do with respect to the debris removal, just to be on the safe side. The paving issue, as I understand it, will be cleared up once the vehicles are gone. There won't be a parking area, there won't be vehicles there. So that can go, just 30 days on the paving area, just in case there's big ruts left in there that they need to address or something like that. With respect to all the other compliance items, I'd ask for 60 days.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. In case CE 200800025, make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of the listed code sections with the exception of 9471C, which I take judicial notice of the fact is now in compliance. As to the exterior paint, 18103J, and the repairs to the fence, 94302A4, I order the respondent to come into compliance within 30 days, or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue. As to 18106A, 34102B, and 9442A, I order the respondent to come into compliance within 21 days, or a fine of up to $50 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Okay, hold on one second. We're gonna mail your order, sir, okay?
Can I give you my?
Say again? You want an email? Matter number 12, CE 20100388, 4515 North Terrace Drive.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Natalie Clark, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. 4515 North Terrace Drive was cited on 10/28/20. The property in
Can you
city-
speak into the mic, please?
Excuse me?
Can you speak into the mic? Yeah.
Natalie Clark, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. 4515 North Terrace Drive was cited on 10/28/20. The property and City Hall were posted on 11/2/20, and certified mail was sent on 10/29/20. The property was cited for 18-1023, 18-103C, 18-106K, 18-215B, 74-4C1, 74-4C3, and 78-94C. The property has since complied with all code sections with the exception of 18-1023 and 18-103C. I've had contact with the owner. The city is asking for an additional 30 days or $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
Which code sections is the city alleging are still not in compliance?
18-102-3 and 18-103C. The owner has stated that 18-102C has been completed. I haven't seen it. When I went out, it wasn't in compliance then, so those are the two code sections. The city is asking for 30 days or $100 per day.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
It's Mehmet Kakoran.
I'm sorry, one more time.
Mehmet Kakoran.
And what is your relation to the owner of the property, sir?
I'm part owner of the company. It's for SA Homes.
Okay.
My brother's the main owner, but he's a sheriff and he's at work right now. I'm the one that handles all the properties. I have pictures. For the screen repair, it was done. The only thing is I can't get inside the house because we have problems with the current tenant. And I even have text messages and calls. You know, the repairman went out twice already. So it's usually not like that. I had my landscape guy went to Jamaica because his mom got sick and he hasn't went back. So I got somebody new to do all that stuff. So right now I'm in the legal process of just getting the tenant out. And as soon as I get her out, I could get inside and just fix it. It's not a leak in the house. It was leaking before the roofers fixed it. But as I said, I can't get inside the house to just paint, cover up the leak stain.
The city wants to give you 30 days. Is that sufficient time, sir?
I just don't know if I'll have them out by then because it's not that I can't, I could get it done. It's just a day of work. But with everything going on with the legal process, it's like I said.
How much time do you need?
They should be out. Hopefully, I already filed a 15-day notice and everything. So as long as they get evicted, then it's done. 60 days just in case, but 30 days is fine. I told her all it is just paint on the wall and 2 little holes that the kids did from, hitting the doors to the wall.
How's the city on 60 days?
The city has no objections to 60 days.
All right, in case CE 20100388, I find the property in violation, I find notice is good and sufficient, I find the property in violation of 18102.3 and 18103C. Responded to 60 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $100 per name issue.
Thank you very
Good luck,
much.
sir.
Here's a copy of your order. Have a good day. Oops, sorry. Matter number 32, CE 20100178, 705 58th Street.
Robert out there? We have a responder?
I can't read. Lee Sutherland? Lee? The respondent?
705 58th Street?
I didn't put that one on there. Which case were you trying to sign in for, sir?
For case 37, 38, 39, and 40.
They put the wrong agenda number, so that wasn't yours.
So we don't have a responder for that one. Okay.
So are we gonna, okay.
Yeah, Robert, they're gonna call a different case so that he can be heard. Okay.
He said 37, 38, and 39. He did.
Matter number 37, CE 20100208-540 Clematis Street, Unit 6.
Yes, thank you.
No problem.
37. Michael Williams, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. Property 540 Clematis Street was initially cited on October 16, 2020. Certified mail was sent on October 20th, 2020. We do have a signed certified mail receipt on file. The property as well as City Hall was posted on October 19th, 2020. Property was cited for 18103I, equipment maintenance, 18106A, clean and sanitary, 18106M, maintaining of the landscaping, and 74-4-C-5, cleanup of the right-of-ways. As of last evening, I noted that the property still is in violation. I had spoken to the respondent just prior to the hearing beginning. He indicated that he does understand that there's some outstanding violations, and he requested 60 days additional in order to come into compliance. So the city is amenable to granting 60 days for the follow-up and follow-through for compliance. So that said, the city's requesting 60 additional days in order to comply, or a fine of $100 per day be imposed.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Lee Sutherland?
I'm sorry, one more time?
Lee Sutherland?
Lee Sutherland. And what's your position, Mr. Sutherland, with Sycamore Partners LP?
I work for the property manager.
And they know that you're here today on their behalf?
Yes.
So the city's representing that you asked for an additional 60 days. Is that accurate, sir?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe you can bring this property in compliance within 60 days, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, in case CE 20100208, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18103I, 18106A, 18106M, and 74-4C-5. Responded has 60 days to bring the property in compliance, or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue.
Number 38, CE 20100223 Florida Avenue.
Michael Williams, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. The Florida Avenue property was initially cited on 10/19/20. Certified mail was sent on 10/20/20. We do have a signed certified mail receipt on file. Property as well as City Hall was posted on October 19th, 2020. Property was cited for 18106M, which is maintenance of landscaping, more specifically the hedges and the beds along the Rosemary corridor. 18106A, clean and sanitary conditions. This particular property, just to go in depth a little bit with regard to the clean and sanitary, This is a well-traveled corridor in terms of people walking, in the downtown area. And so they really have their work cut out for them because people walk by and people drop, cups and glasses and beer bottles and plates, just a whole host of things. And so we understand that, but be that as it may, that it's the property owner's responsibility to maintain it. And I even recommended to them that on a daily basis, perhaps they should consider having someone walk the property on a daily basis, maybe at the end of, the day or the shift or whatever, just walk that corridor and just simply just pick up everything that they're gonna get. And this has been somewhat of an ongoing problem for probably years, literally, because people, again, walk those corridors and people just throw bottles and cans and paper and just, all sorts of things, shirts, whatever. And so it's really going to be important that they reconsider the maintenance of not only this Florida Avenue property, but the corridor, but the perimeter, actually, of 540 Clematis, the prior property, because this is going to be an ongoing problem, and I don't want to have to bring them back as a repeat violator, and so that's the reason I'm making this point today. So perhaps the respondent would maybe take that into full consideration. But all that said, the city's requesting 15 additional days in order to comply, or a fine of $100 per day be imposed.
Sir, can you state your name again for the record?
Lee Sutherland?
And you are with the property manager in this case as well?
Yes, sir.
So you seem to have a bit of a trash problem here, huh?
It's a very high traffic area behind all the bars and restaurants on Clematis Street, and people, they just litter every day. And we had people clean up in the alleyway 2 days ago. Just pick up all the trash. But it's a constant thing, and there's an empty vacant lot that people walk their dog through, and they throw trash in there every day. So if we need to hire somebody to clean it daily, we can do that, just to keep the premises clean and sanitary.
City wants to give you 15 days to bring that into compliance. Is that sufficient amount of time, sir?
We would request 60 days with the few violations that I'm here today, just to make sure we can wrap it all up together. Is that possible?
I think 60 days is a bit much. It's just a matter of someone walking outside and picking up the trash. So, if we give them 60 days, in order to clean the property up, my concern is that, it's going to get progressively worse. And so it's really, and I can't stress it enough, the importance of really them rethinking this whole process and really hiring someone to come on board and really police these areas on a daily basis. Otherwise, there's a strong likelihood that they're going to end up back here as a repeat violator and suffering, a potential stiff fine.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Mr. Southern. 60 days seems like an awfully long time to clean up a property.
It's a simple clean. We can get it done today. We can start it again each week or.
I think 15 days is more than reasonable just to pick up the property. I think the city's point, though, is a sound one, and it's, I don't give advice from this seat, but the fines get progressively worse for repeat violations. So it's important, that your client have a plan for how to address this so that it doesn't become a repeat violation.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
In case CE 201000223, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106M and 18106A. Respondent has 15 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of up to $100 per day. May I issue?
Matter number 39, CE 20100224531 Detura Street.
Michael Williams, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. This property was initially cited on October 19th, 2020. Certified mail was sent on October 20th, 2020. We do have a signed certified mail receipt on file. Property as well as City Hall was posted on October 19th, 2020. Property was cited for 18106A, clean and sanitary conditions, and 18106M, maintaining of the landscaping. Again, as of last evening, all of the violations remain. Same scenario. The hedges and plant beds along the corridor there, again, are being littered with trash and debris, seemingly never to end. So the city's requesting 15 days in order to comply, or a fine of $100 per day be imposed.
I know this is getting repetitive, Mr. Sutherland. Could you state your name for the record, though?
Lee Sutherland.
So the city wants to proceed on the same basis. Is there a reason why they shouldn't in this particular case? Is there something different about this particular property?
It's a adjoining property to the other case.
Same problem, same cause?
Yep.
All right, in case CE 201000224, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106A and 18106M. Respondent has 15 days to bring the property in compliance, or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue. Good luck, Mr. Sutherland. I'd encourage you to work with the city and to speak with them about what you're doing and how you're keeping the property clean so that they can be informed and can certify that you're in compliance, okay?
No problem.
Matter number-
We've got one more.
Yeah. Matter number 40, CE 201000225, 600 Detura Street.
Michael Williams, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. Property 600 Detour Street was cited on October 19th, 2020. Certified mail was sent on October 20th, 2020. We do have a signed certified mail receipt on file. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted on October 19th, 2020. Property was cited for 18103I, equipment maintenance, 18106A, clean and sanitary, 18105-J, painting of the structure, 18106B, excessive growth, 18106M, maintaining of the landscaping, 74-4-C-4, trees and hedges obstructing of the public right-of-way, 74-4-C-5, cleanup of the right-of-way, and 94-71-C, outdoor storage. As of last evening, the following code sections were noted complied: 18106B, the excessive growth, and 74-4-C-4, hedges obstructing of the right-of-way is complied, and also 94-71-C, the outdoor storage, has complied. All of the other violations continue to exist. The city's requesting, with regard to, with regard to all of the remaining outstanding violations, the city is requesting 30 days in order to comply, or a fine of $100 per day be imposed.
So as I understand this, the city's alleging that the rain gutter and wheel stops are still broken.
I did see where some of the broken wheel stops were either removed or replaced, but they actually have some wheel stops. I don't know why this is, but they have some wheel stops that are literally just sitting inside of the hedges, in the beds, and they're just there for whatever reason. It looks like they've been there for a long period of time. And so those are absolutely serving no purpose. They couldn't be of any aesthetic value, but the broken wheel stops still need to be replaced. There was one that I do remember where there was a lot of wire literally sticking out of it. I think that particular one had been removed, but there still are some wheel stops there on the property that are still broken, and or just literally just sitting inside of the bed of the hedges for whatever reason. And the rain gutter, there's about a 5-foot section of a rain gutter that you could see where it was connected to the building, and now it's just kind of laying there on the ground. So those things still do exist, and there's portions of the structure where there's stucco missing, soiled paint, and soiled and or dirty paint There still is some degree of trash and debris. There has been some effort, I noted, to clean up some of the trash and debris, but it still does not fully comply. And also with regard to the landscaping, the beds still require some maintenance as there is a lot of missing mulch. There's trash inside of the hedges and along the perimeter as well.
And what's the 74-4C5, the center row?
Oh, there's that has to do with, there's some waste in the alleyway. There's an alleyway that runs congruent with this particular property, and in that right of way, on their side of that right of way, there's still some debris there.
And the city's asking for 30 days or $100 a day on these remaining violations? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, one more time.
We're just asking for 60 days with the holidays and to comply with the other code in violations that we're working on.
And for the record, Lee Southern again, for the owner, which I guess is the management company again?
Yes, sir.
So what does the city say? They want 60 days.
We'd be willing to give them 60 days on 18103I and 18105J, but on the other code sections, those are a matter of cleaning up trash and debris and the removal of the broken wheel stops.
I have no objection to that.
Yeah, that seems fair. All right, in case CE 201002225, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18103I, 18106A, 18105J, 18106M, and 744C5. Respondent is ordered to comply with 18103I and 18105J within 60 days. The remaining code sections, the respondent is ordered to comply within 30 days. Fine of $100 per day if not in compliance.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Matter number 11, CE 20090370815 44th Street.
I'm sorry, which number did you say? 11. Welcome back, Officer Clark.
Good morning, Natalie Clark, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. 815 44th Street was cited on 9/24/20. The property and City Hall were posted on 10/1/20 and certified mail sent on 9/30/20. The property was cited for 18-103J, 74-34A1J, and 94-482A. The property has since complied with all code sections with the exception of 94-482A. I've had contact with the owner. The city is asking for an additional 60 days or $100 per day.
So the issue remaining is the driveway and parking on the grass.
Actually, the parking on the grass, that's in compliance. However, it's the same code section. So I've spoken to the owner, and I think she has applied for the permit to do the driveway repair. So she has been working on getting the property in compliance.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Atencia Earp Bowen,
And are you the owner of the property, ma'am?
co-owner, yes.
So the city says you've come into compliance on everything except for the driveway. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And they want to give you 60 days to fix your driveway. Is that a sufficient amount of time for you, ma'am?
I would appreciate if we could get 90 days. The issue is that we inherited this home. We were not aware of any of the responsibilities. Well, we knew that we wanted to fix it, renovate it, and we definitely want to do that. We just wasn't aware that a driveway was something that was a necessity at this moment. And at that being that that is the case, we have to have a surveyor, we also have to have the permit and have it fully paved. So we just weren't expecting that.
Well, in light of the fact that you've come into compliance and everything else, I'll give you your 90 days.
Thank you
In
so
case
much.
CE 200900370, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I found the property in violation of 9442A. Respondent has 90 days to bring the property in compliance or a fine of up to $100 per day per issue. Good luck, ma'am.
Yeah.
Just to confirm, we have no other respondents present.
Back to the top, huh?
Right. Matter number 3, CE 20090388408 El Vedado.
Good morning, John Frosco, West Palm Beach Code. Property was declared a chronic nuisance on September 28th of 2020. The property was posted and certified mail was sent out the same day. The records show that certified mail was received on September 29th, the next day. The owner called me the very same day I posted the property, and I explained to him what was needed, that an action plan was needed, and I sort of detailed what was needed, and pointed out what was wrong with the property and what he needed, but he never gave me the action plan. So certified mail was sent out for notice of hearing, notice of violation on October 27th of 2020, and the property was posted. Shows that the certified mail was received on October 29th of 2020. Still no action plan and no contact from the owner, and you can see, as of yesterday, the current conditions of the property. The city is requesting that the magistrate formally declare this property a chronic nuisance and enter a service order allowing the city to abate for cut and clean, board and secure, insect or rodent infestation, extermination, and bill all costs back to the owner for the services and the city's time.
So tell me why this is a chronic nuisance.
It's based on a prior
what's the pattern of
adjudicated
nuisance activity?
It's based on a prior adjudicated case of non-compliance.
And when was that case, and when was it adjudicated, and what was it adjudicated for?
It was adjudicated for landscaping, trash and debris, garbage can placement, no rental license and certificate of use, and outside storage. And that was done in the year of 2012. It was actually, an affidavit of non-compliance was submitted on June 18th of 2012. And there have been cases since that time. Yes.
So
I think I
basically,
answered
this property has been in states of non-compliance since 2012. Is that what the city's representing?
No. To base a case as chronic nuisance and declare it a chronic nuisance, it has to be an adjudicated case of non-compliance. That's the extent of what the ordinance reads. So because this property has been non-compliant with the magistrate's order, that's why we're declaring it a chronic nuisance.
Did they come into compliance with the previous order?
No.
So the order from 2012 is still not in compliance?
Yes, still running fines.
Can I address that, sir?
Yeah, please do.
Mitch Posner, Code Enforcement. In addition to the 2012 case, which is still accruing and is currently has a lien of over $300,000, under this ownership, the property has been cited 33 times. It's a blighted property. It has an adjudication an affidavit of non-compliance that qualifies it for chronic nuisance. The complaints on this property have been continual for at least 5 years that I'm aware of. This cries for city management more than any other chronic nuisance property I've seen.
All right. You said 33 times it's been cited?
Under this ownership, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Only one adjudication, but cited 33 times.
All right, that's sufficient for me. In case CE 200900388, I find that a pattern of nuisance activity exists on the property. I affirm the city's declaration the property is a chronic nuisance. I hereby enter a chronic nuisance service order authorizing the city to perform any nuisance abatement activity that are needed on the property and to charge the cost of that abatement activity against the property owner. So execute.
Thank you.
Matter number 4, CE 20100078, 826 Sunset Road.
Don Williams, Code Enforcement. This property was cited on October 6, 2020, certified mail sent out October 23rd, 2020, and posted October 23rd, 2020. It's actually cited for 18106A, clean and unsanitary condition, 18106B, excessive growth, 94442-E, which is landscaping swale, and 9471C, outdoor storage. No contact with the owner of the property. However, the only outstanding violation is 94442-E, which is landscaping the swale. And we'll ask for 15 days to comply to that, or $50 per day thereafter.
So they're in compliance with everything other than the landscaping of the swale?
Correct.
And you're asking for 15 days or how much?
All 50, 1550.
Did you say $50?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Have you been in contact with the owner?
No, sir.
But they seem to be complying?
Yeah, they don't know everything else, yeah. It's only a small area in this well that needs to be landscaped.
Do you believe 15 days is a sufficient amount of time for them to complete?
Yeah, it's just a little small area where they put the landscaping out, and then the crane come up and dig it up, so it's just a small area.
Again, KCE 2010078, I make the following findings of fact on law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 94442E. Respondent has 15 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $50 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Matter number 6, CE 20100209, 520 54th Street.
Good morning. Joseph Oliva, Chronic Nuisance Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was declared a chronic nuisance on 10/16/2020. The declaration was posted on 10/16/2020 and certified mail sent on 10/19/2020. There has been no contact with the owner nor an action plan to date. The notice of violation was posted on 11/3/2020 and certified mail sent on 11/3/2020. The property's been owned since August of 2018. Its previous adjudications were CE 200700369, and that was on 10/14/2020 for overgrowth, white goods, garbage can placement, outdoor storage, and high grass. There was also another adjudication, CE 191100059 on 1/7/2020 for excessive overgrowth, high grass, outdoor storage, boards on windows, and in-op vehicles. Property has been cited 6 other times. The city requests that the special magistrate find a pattern of nuisance activity and enter a chronic nuisance service order for services to be provided by the city to include but not limited to landscape maintenance, removal of any trash and debris, trimming of any trees or hedges with access to the property, and any other abatement methods necessary to keep this property in compliance.
Officer Oliva, so this property's been adjudicated in violation of the code on 2 separate occasions, and there are 6 other citations?
Yes.
How long has this property been a problem?
Since 2018.
So basically, this has been 2 years of multiple adjudications and citations?
Yes.
And you've had no contact with the owner?
No contact or no action plan to date, yep.
Have they attempted to contact you in any way that you're aware of?
No, I spoke to a neighbor, and the property's been like this for a little while now, and sometimes it gets cut, sometimes it doesn't, but they have in-op vehicles sitting on the property on the grass and all. And it doesn't look like there's anyone in it at the moment.
All right, in case CE 201000209, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of Code 54403A. I hereby find a pattern of nuisance activity exists on the property. I affirm the city's declaration the property is a chronic nuisance. I hereby enter a chronic nuisance service order authorizing the city to perform any nuisance abatement services that are needed on the property and to charge the cost of that abatement activity against the property owner.
Thank you.
Matter number 7, CE 20010262, 1401 Village Boulevard, Unit 422.
Good morning. You need to be sworn in, please.
Oh, you haven't been sworn in? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under penalty of perjury on the laws of the state of Florida?
I do. Good morning, Officer Levine, City of West Palm Beach Code. This property was cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use. This was originally cited back in January, but due to COVID-19, it had to be postponed on several occasions. The property was reposted on 10/27/2020, and certified mail was signed for on 10/28/2020. Verification of occupancy by a renter was verified by the front desk, which is the property management. So the city is requesting 30 days to come into compliance or $200 a day thereafter.
So you spoke with the property management, and they indicated they were renting this property to a tenant?
Yes, sir.
Did they tell you why they haven't gotten a rental license while you were there?
I'm not?
Did they tell you why they didn't have a rental license on the property?
No, sir. You see what happened? These are all condos. And when they
Oh, so the property manager is not the owner of the property? They're
no,
just...
the property manager, not the owner, but they have to go through property management to get the approval to rent. And the property management do tell them that they have to obtain a rental license. And in some cases, some of these properties management has copies of the application for the rental license. So they generally give it to them. And for some reason or the other, these owners just don't do anything about it.
All right, so you're asking for what, 30 days?
30 days or $200 a day thereafter.
Have you had any contact with the owner in this case?
No, sir.
And I see you posted in certified mail?
Yes, posted on 10/27 and certified mail was signed for on 10/28.
I don't suppose you talked to the tenants.
Beg your
Did you talk to the tenants?
No.
Yeah. All right, in case CE 200102262, I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice sufficient to find the property in violation of 18162A and 2232A, respondent has 30 days to come into compliance or fine of $200 per day may issue.
Matter number 8, CE 20080176780 South Sapodilla Avenue, Unit 504.
This property too was cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use. Certified mail was returned on 9/12/2020. 9/28/2020. And the property was posted on 10/20/2020, at which time the front desk again did verify that it's occupied by a renter. City is requesting 30 days to come into compliance or $200 a day thereafter.
So this is basically the same situation where the property
Yes.
management confirmed that it's being rented, but you haven't had contact with the owner?
Yes, sir.
All right, in case CE 200801766, make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, I find the property in violation of 18162A and 2232A. Respondent has 30 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $200 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Matter number 9, CE 2010098 904 34th Street.
Good morning. Ray Leung, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. 904 34th Street was originally cited on 10/8/20 with a notice of violation posted at the property and City Hall on 10/8/20. Certified mail was sent same day, 10/8/20. This property was cited for 34102B, 78-1, and 94302A4 fence repair. I haven't made contact with the owner, but 78-1 was complied. All other code sections still remain. Special Magistrate, the city requests an additional 15 days to come into compliance for 34102B, the inoperative vehicle, or $100 per day until compliance is achieved, and 90 days to come into compliance with 94302A4, or $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
So there's an inoperable vehicle. Which one is it? Is it the...
It's the black Honda that didn't have a license plate.
All right, so no license plate. And what's wrong? Well, the fence does have an interesting lean to it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Have you had... Yeah, and there's... Okay.
And no contact made.
No contact with the owner?
No. The car that's blocking the sidewalk was removed. That's in compliance.
All right, so you want to give 30 days to remove the other inoperable vehicle?
15 days for the inoperative vehicle and 90 days because of the permits will have to be pulled to repair the fence. So 90 days for 94-302A4 or $100 per day.
And were you seeking the same fine for the inoperable vehicle, $100 per day?
Yes, sir.
And certified mail and posting?
Certified mail on 10/8 and posting on the same day, 10/8 as well.
Okay, in CE 2010009A, to make the following findings of fact and law, I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 34102B and 94302A4. As to 34102B, respondent has 15 days to bring the property in compliance or a fine of $100 per day may issue. As to 94302A4, respondent has 90 days to bring the property in compliance or $100 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Matter number 10, CE 201000137, 850 30th Street.
Ray Leung, City West Palm Beach Code Compliance. 850 30th Street was originally cited on 10/13 of 20. Notice violation posted at the property and City Hall on 10/14 of 20. Certified mail was sent on the same day, 10/14 of 20. Property was cited for 105.1 permit required and FBC 110.3 inspections required. I have made contact with the owner who is working on acquiring a permit and did request more time. Therefore, the city requests an additional 45 days to come into compliance or $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
Did you actually catch this based on that advertisement?
Yes.
That's pretty eagle eye there. So you spoke to the owner, and they're in the process of obtaining their permits?
Yes, they're trying to obtain it as quickly as possible because the house is under contract for sale.
Okay. All right, in case CE 201000137, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 105.1 and PBC 110.3. Respondent has 45 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Matter number 13 is just a continuance of number 12. So calling matter number 17, CE 2010-0158, 5025 Willow Pond Road West.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On October 14th, property at 5025 Willow Pond Road West was cited for clean and sanitary. Property must be in clean and sanitary state. Landscape maintenance, trimming of palm trees and other vegetation on property, and an array of outdoor storage. The property was posted November 2nd. Certified mail was sent October 14th. Certified mail was received October 15th. I tried to make contact at the time of posting. Knocked on the door, no response. I received no contact from the property owner. No action has been taken. With that in consideration, city's recommending 30 days to come into compliance or $50 a day until compliance is achieved.
Well, what's the clean and sanitary issue?
Just the overall condition of the rear of the property. As you can see, there's a multitude of items in the rear.
All right, I can definitely see outsourced storage, and I can see landscape maintenance is an issue here.
Yes,
So
sir.
basically, they need to cut back on their plants, remove their outdoor storage, and clean up the debris from their property. Is that essentially it?
Correct.
30 days seems more than reasonable to me on that. In case C, I guess, and you've done, so they've received certified mail. I assume you posted the property as well?
Yes, and I also attempted to knock and ring the doorbell.
All right, in case CE 201000158, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient from the property in violation of 18106A, 18106K, and 9471C. Respondent has 30 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $50 per day may issue.
Matter number 18, CE 2010-0261 North Military Trail.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On October 20th, the open lot on North Military Trail was cited for clean and sanitary, excessive growth, overgrown grass, landscape maintenance, cutback of all trees and hedges along Military Trail, failure to comply, and trees and hedges obstructing city's right-of-way. Property was posted October 30th. Certified mail was sent October 21st. We have not received a receipt of a return receipt on the certified mail. But our code manager has been in contact with a representative of the property. As of yesterday, the property has come into compliance with the excessive growth of grass and weeds, but the clean and sanitary still remains, landscape maintenance still remains, and the overgrowth into the city right-of-way still remains. The owner representative was requesting 30 days to bring the property into compliance. City's recommending that 30 days. We're also seeking an abatement if the property is not in compliance within the 30 days.
Explain to me why the city is seeking an abatement, please.
Because that last picture, there's major overgrowth into the city's right-of-way, which is unsafe. I've seen people have to go around that vegetation to step out into oncoming traffic, which is, to me, unsafe. So that's my major concern there.
In addition, I suspect the overgrowth might well be habitat for vermin.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the issues, the sections still at issue are 18106A, clean and sanitary,
Yes.
18106K, landscape maintenance,
Yes.
18215B, failure to comply, and 7404C4.
Yes.
All right. All right, in case CE 2010026, want to make the following findings of fact and lie. Find notice is sufficient. I found the property in violation of 18106A, 18106K, 18215B, and 7404C4. Make further findings that violations constitute a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city of West Palm Beach. Hereby order the respondent to come into compliance within 30 days. In the absence of compliance, I hereby authorize the city to enter the property and abate any and all violations. I hereby charge the cost of said abatement against the property and property owner.
Matter number 19, CE 201100112223, Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, Unit 101.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On November 2nd, the business at 2223 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard was cited for a repeat violation. The original order was issued February 19th, 2020 of a finding of fact on the existing violations of prohibited signage in city right-of-way and prohibited portable signage. Property was posted November 3rd. I've had no contact with the business, but as of November 17th, the signage has been removed. So city's requesting that a fine run from November 2nd until November 17th, which would be out of compliance for 15 days at $100 a day. A $1,500 fine be assessed to the property.
If I understand this correctly, this property was previously cited for a sign violation,
Correct.
and they were adjudicated having been in violation? Though they were not fined, I guess a finding of fact was
It was
held.
a finding of fact February 19th.
So they're being cited again for the same code section,
Correct.
portable signs? And is your testimony that the portable signs were out there from November 2nd to November 17th?
Correct.
So the city is seeking a repeat violation, which can be assessed from the moment the repeat violation happened, which would be 15 days, and you're seeking a fine of $100 per day.
Correct.
Notice was accomplished through certified mail and posting.
Correct.
All right, in case CE 20110011, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 94402B25, prohibited portable signs, and 94402B16, prohibited signs on city right-of-way. I make further findings said violation is a repeat violation under the code of the city of West Palm Beach. I hereby issue a fine of $100 a day beginning on November 2nd and ending on November 17th for a total of 15 days or $1,500.
Thank you.
Matter number 20, CE 20100111, 2708 Broadway is rescheduled. Number 21, CE 20100155, 512 27th Street, rescheduled. Matter number 22, CE 20100172, 335th Street, has rescheduled. Matter number 23, CE 20100165, 432 46th Street.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Christopher Thompson, City of West Palm Code Compliance. Property at 432 46th Street was cited on 10/14/2020. Notice of violation was posted at City Hall, and certified mail was also sent on 10/16/2020. Property was cited for expired BTR, COU, and rental license. I have not made contact with the homeowner as of today, and as of today, the property is still not in compliance. City is requesting additional 30 days to come to compliance, or $150 a day until compliance is achieved.
So tell me about this property. What's going on here?
Expired BTR, expired COU, and expired rental license.
Do we know that there is a business being operated on this property? and
I
that's
do
being
know
rented?
that there are tenants in the property as well, yes.
So there are tenants on the property?
Yes, sir.
How do we know this?
Spoken to them.
Why a BTR, not just a rental license?
I'm sorry?
It's just a rental property, right? Why do they need the business tax receipt?
Well, they do need a business tax receipt.
Have they've been obtaining it in the past?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, in case CE 20100165, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 82144, 82162A, and 2232A. Give the respondent 30 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $150 per day may issue.
Matter number 24, CE 20100313, 412 42nd Street.
Christopher Thompson, City of West Palm Code Compliance. Property at 412 42nd Street was cited on 10/23/2020. Certified mail and City Hall was posted on 10/23/2020. Property was cited for overgrowth. As of today, I have not made contact with the homeowner, and the property is also still not in compliance. City is requesting additional 30 days to come into compliance, or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Sorry, Officer Thompson, did you say service was by certified mail and posting?
Yes, 10/23/2020.
Well, that's a lot of overgrowth, huh?
Yes.
And you've seen no effort by the respondent to bring this property into compliance?
None.
Anyone here on behalf of the respondent?
No.
All right, in case CE 20100313, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient from the property in violation of 18106B. Respondent has 30 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Matter number 25, CE 20100362, 634 38th Street.
Christopher Thompson, City of West Palm Code Compliance. Property at 634 38th Street was cited on 10/26/2020. Certified mail was sent, and City Hall was also posted on 10/26/2020. Property was cited for overgrowth, outdoor storage, and trash can placement. As of today, the outdoor storage and trash can placement was complied, but the overgrowth is still not complied. I have made contact with the homeowner, and the city is requesting an additional 30 days to come into compliance, or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
The owner indicate that they can bring this property into compliance within 30 days?
Yes.
Because that looks like a lot of work. All right, in case CE 201000362, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106B. Respondent has 30 days to bring the property in compliance, or $100 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Matter number 26, CE 201000268, 3920 North Shore Drive.
Do we know which case that the two people that just entered are here for?
It's closed.
Okay.
It's a black case.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead, Officer Williams.
Good morning, Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was cited originally on October 21st, 2020. Certified mail was sent out October 26th, 2020. That was returned November 2nd, 2020. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted on November 6th, 2020. I've had no contact with the owners. They were originally cited for 18-106-B and 94-71-C. To date, none of the violations have been cured. The city is asking for 10 days or $150 a day fine thereafter.
10 days is rather short. Why only 10 days?
Because this is a case that's been going on for a little while. The previous code officer also had dealt with them with the same issue. They're currently running fines for other issues that are on the property. And they've been cited in the past for overgrowth and things like that. This is the first time where they haven't done anything to cure the violation. And it's literally just mowing the lawn and getting the few things that are out there in the lawn. So it shouldn't take them too long to get it taken care of.
Just in an abundance of caution, especially since this is the universe we're living in, it's very difficult. I'm going to give it 15 days.
That's fine.
In case CE 201000268, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106B and 9471C. I give the respondent 15 days to bring the property in compliance, or a fine of up to $150 per day may issue.
Matter number 27, CE 201000272, 413 North Ware Drive.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was originally cited on October 21st, 2020. Certified mail was sent out October 22nd, 2020. That was returned October 26th, 2020. The property was hand delivered, as well as the City Hall was posted on November 6th, 2020. I had contact with the owner, obviously, the day that it was hand delivered. He's an older gentleman. He just, I guess, property just got away from him. So they were originally cited for 18-106A, 18-265, 18-103-B, 34-102-A, 94-482-A, 94-71-C, and FBC 1001.1. He's said he's trying to get everything taken care of. He's requesting 30 days. I think he might need a little bit longer than 30 days. I kind of want to give him 60 days just to make sure he gets it, because he is an older gentleman. So the city is requesting 60 days or $100 a day thereafter.
Are all these code sections still at issue?
Yes, sir.
Boy, this looks like a fairly significant job to do here, huh?
Yeah, and that's kind of why he asked for 30 days, but he's an really older gentleman. I think he said he's in his 70s. That's why I kind of want to give him 60 days, just in case he can't get everything taken care of in that time frame.
Do you think he can get those structural repairs done in 60 days?
That I'm not. It's just that one little section there, so it's not too extensive. But you know, I'm open to any suggestions you may have.
Why don't we take the wall and let's give him 90 days on that.
Okay.
and we'll give him 60 days on everything else. Because I have a feeling that that roof repair is going to be a little more extensive than he might think.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that's a good idea.
All right, in case CE 201000272, make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106A, 18265, 18103B, 34102A, 94482A, 9471C, and FBC 1001.1. As to 18103B, I give the respondent 90 days to come to compliance or fine of $100 per day. As to the remaining sections, I give the respondent 60 days to come to compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Matter number 28, CE 2010-0274-506 Erie Place.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was originally cited on October 21st, 2020. Certified mail was sent out October 22nd, 2020. That was received on August 24th, 2020. The property as well as City Hall was posted on November 6th, 2020. I've had no contact with the owner. They were originally cited for 34-102-A, 74-34-A-1-J, and 94-71-C. They did move the truck there, the first inoperative vehicle. There is a second vehicle that's still present, and they haven't cleaned up any of the outdoor storage that's there or the trash can that's still there. So the city is asking for 15 days or $100 a day thereafter.
How large a fine were you seeking?
$100 a day.
Have you spoken with the owner?
No, I have had no contact with the owner.
And you said certified mail and posting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, in case CE 201000274, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 7434A1J and 9471C. Respondent has 15 days to bring the property into compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Thank you, sir.
Matter number 29, CE 20100133407 49th Street.
Is there any way we could move that, whatever that conversation is, a little further away?
Marcus, can you close the door, please?
I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance, Robert Watkins. This property was cited on October the 13th. Certified mail was sent October the 14th. Certified mail was received October 16th. This property was cited for 18-106B, 94-302A-4, 74-34A-1J, and 34-102A. Complied violations are 18-106B, 94-302A-4. Remaining violations are 74-34A-1J and 34-102A. I've had no communication with the residents or homeowner of this property. City is requesting 30 additional days or $100 per day after.
So they got rid of the excessive growth, but they didn't move the garbage can?
Nope, didn't move it at all. It's still right by the fence.
That is an unusual.
Yeah, see right there by the junk vehicle that's covered.
So they cut the weeds and they fixed the fence, but they left the vehicle in the garbage can.
Yep.
Well, I suppose that was inevitably what was going to happen one time, right? All right. Case CE 201001333. I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 34102A and 7434A1J. Respondent has 30 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Matter number 30, CE 20100143429 56th Street.
City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance, Robert Watkins. This property was cited on October the 13th. Certified mail was sent October the 14th. Certified mail was returned. City Hall was posted October 26th. This property was cited for 22-32A, 18-106B, 105-1, 74-34A-1J, and 18-162A. Compliant violations were 74-34A-1J. I've had communication with the homeowner. He's requesting 25 to 30 days to get the shed permits and the rental license and stuff taken care of. And the city's requesting 30 days or $100 per day after.
So you confirm with the owner that there is a tenant on this property?
Yes.
The only thing they complied with is the garbage can?
Yep, and I think that's just because it was trash day.
Whatever works, right? All right, in case CE 201000143, I make the following findings of fact in law. I find notice is sufficient if on the property in violation of 18162A, 105.1, 18106B, and 2232A. Respondent has 30 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Matter number 31, CE 20100163423 48th Street.
City of West Beach Code Compliance, Robert Watkins. This property was cited at October the 14th. Certified mail was sent October the 14th. Certified mail was received October the 16th. This property was cited for 18-106B, 74-34A-1J, 18-106M, 94-71C, and 78-94C. Compliant violations were 74-34A-1J. Remaining violations are 18-106B, 18-106M, 94-71C, and 78-94C. City is requesting 15 days or $100 per day after. I have spoken with this homeowner as well. He just stated that he hasn't had time to do everything else for the property.
All right, well, I definitely see excessive growth. I see the landscaping. We'll definitely see the landscaping. That's the swale. What's the outdoor storage?
Right in the carport area. Well, they're
Okay. Officer Watkins, you think they can get this completed in 15 days?
yeah. Just mostly cutting the grass and moving the stuff from up under the carport, and a couple of pieces of sod for the swale. And he requested 10. I told him I'd give him an extra 5 just to make sure, with the weather or whatnot, to get it done.
Why don't we make it 3 weeks? We'll do 21 days. All right, in case CE 201000163, make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient from the property in violation of 18106B, 18106M, 7894C, and 9471C. Respondent has 21 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Matter number 32, CE 20100178705 58th Street.
City of West Beach Code Compliance, Robert Watkins. This property was cited October the 15th. Certified mail was sent October 16th. Certified mail was received October 19th. This property was cited for 22-32-A, 18-106B, 34-102A, 18-106M, 78-6, and 18-162A. No violations have been complied. All violations are remaining. I've had no communication with the property owner whatsoever. The city is requesting 20 days or $100 per day after.
All right, so you did do certified mail and posting, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's see what we got here. Excessive growth, yes. Maintenance, landscaping, yes. There's a renter on this property?
Yeah, it seems that they've moved out. It looks vacant now. 2 days ago, it looks like someone moved out. There was a lot of trash on the side, and now you could pretty much, when I went for my pictures yesterday, you could almost see right through it.
Do we know if they were a renter or the owner?
I'm not 100% sure, but no one's there right now, it seems.
Do you still want to proceed under rental license?
Well, at the time it was cited, there was a tenant there, from my understanding.
So your argument is that they violated 18162A because there was somebody living there?
Yes.
Do we know it wasn't them?
Say again?
Do we know it wasn't the actual owner that was living there?
Well, I think if it was the owner, he might have reached out with the door postings, and I left my card there 2 or more occasions. Usually the owners reach out when you're leaving information or literature for them at their properties.
Sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing
No, I
you.
was saying I would have assumed that the owner would have responded because I've went once or twice after that and left my card and the literature on the door in reference to trash and pickup. Normally, the owners would reach out to you when you leave literature for them, to my understanding.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right that it probably wasn't the owner, but I probably need a little more than that, though. I need some kind of evidence that it was a tenant. I mean, unless you have more than that, I'm not going to proceed on that one, but there's plenty here on the others. Where's the junk or abandoned vehicle?
At the time it was there, it's not, right now it should be coming up. It was just, that Civic right there now is moved to the other side, which is right on the property line by the next adjacent property, just to the east of that. Right where that truck
So
is.
it was on the property, but it isn't now?
No, it was, as of yesterday, it was still there, but it was behind that truck a little bit further up.
Okay. But it was on the property?
Yes, it
Okay.
was on the property.
And I presume the numbers haven't been fixed?
Yes, the numbers are blue now, all of them.
All right, in case CE 20100-178, I'm going to make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, I find the property in violation of 18106B, 18106M, and 34102A, and 78-6. I'm going to order the respondent to come into compliance within 20 days, or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Matter number 33, CE 20080324510 South Dixie Highway.
Michael Williams, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. Property 510 South Dixie Highway is a commercial business. That property was initially cited on 8/31/20. Certified mail was sent on 9/3/20. We do have a signed the certified mail was returned. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted on 9/4/20. When I posted the property on 9/4/20, the manager of the business came out and received the posting, and he and I talked a bit about the violations to the property. And so we did walk the property at that time, and we discussed the violations at really great length. But as of last evening, none of the violations have complied. That said, though, there was a maintenance guy there who had started replacing some of the rotted wood to the roofing line. So it looks like they are well on their way in terms of the roof being repaired. But they were cited for 18103B, repair of the roof. Again, there's rotted wood to the exterior, more specifically the roof line, 18106A. Clean and sanitary, there is still trash. There was trash and debris on the property as of last evening, more so in the rear of the property. 18106B, excessive growth in the swell area as well last evening. It was noted. And 94-315A, the screening of the dumpster. The dumpster still remains out front. There's no screening. They have not pulled any permits that I'm aware of. 94-448-D-1, in speaking to the city arborist, they need to pull a tree alteration permit for the removal of 2 black olive trees that were in the swell. There was a historical property in the area that was literally being moved to another area in the city, and so they absolutely had to cut those trees down because, as I said, they were moving this house on a barge type device to move it to another area in the city. And so they absolutely had to remove these trees. There was a palm tree, half of it still remains. For some reason, somebody just cut half of the palm tree and left the other half in the ground. That tree is going to have to be removed and be replaced. 94-485-B-1-E, the parking lot is in somewhat of a state of disrepair. and 94-71-C outdoor storage, more specifically some pallets that they've been maintaining in the rear of the property. When I was out on the 17th, I spoke to the store manager yet again. He indicated that they are working diligently to come into compliance. I advised him that the pine tree that was, well, the palm tree rather, that was cut in half needs to be removed and it's going to have to be replaced. And also the trees that were cut down, it's gonna require a tree alteration permit. He said that they didn't cut them down. He has no idea who cut them down. So his argument was why do I have to be responsible for something that I didn't do? I said, well, technically you are not really responsible. The owner of the property is responsible, ultimately. So I suggested to him to get with the owner of the property, and so that they can kind of go down this list and come to some kind of conclusion in terms of who's going to take care of what, because ultimately fines could be levied against the property. So with that said, he asked if they could have an additional 60 days in order to comply, and the city's amenable to giving them 60 additional days in order to comply, or a fine of $100 per day be imposed.
I actually have no questions for you.
Okay.
In case CE 200803224, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18103B, 18106A, 18106B, 943315A, 94448D1, 94485B1E, and 9471C. Respondent has 60 days to come to compliance, or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Matter number 34, CE 2009037 1205 Worthington Street.
Michael Williams, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. Property 1205 Worthington Street was initially cited on 9/24/20. Certified mail was sent on 9/25/20. We do have a signed certified mail on file. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted on 9/25/20. This property was cited for 18106A, clean and sanitary, 18106B, excessive growth, 74-34-A-1-J, garbage can placement, 74-4-C-5, cleanup of the right-of-way, 78-1, obstruction of the public right-of-way, 94-302-A-4, fence and disrepair, 94-482-A, parking requirements as they were parking a vehicle onto unapproved surfaces, and 94-71-C outdoor storage. As of last evening, the following code sections have complied: 74-34-A-1-J, garbage can placement, 74-4-C-5, cleanup of the right-of-way was accomplished, and 78-1, obstruction of the public right-of-way. They moved the car off of the sidewalk and into their driveway. However, 18106A, the trash and debris, still remains an issue. 18106B, the excessive growth, more specifically in the rear yard. 94-302-A-4, the fence is still in a state of disrepair. In fact, there's some of the fencing just kind of, I guess, like pulled down, and it's just in a pile, as noted in that picture, in the side yard. And 94-482-A, no, I'm sorry, that one has complied. 94-71-C, the outdoor storage, remains an issue, again, with the storage of the wood and so forth on the eastern perimeter, and also there was a tire and a couple other things noted in the front yard. We'd like to give them, I think in totality, it looks like they could use some help and some extra time. So we are amenable to giving them additional 45 days or a fine of $50 per day be imposed.
I'm sorry, what was the fine amount you were seeking?
50 per day.
All right, if I followed you correctly, the The issues outstanding are the clean and sanitary, because there's trash and debris still on the property. The
Yes,
excessive growth in the rear yard.
yes,
The fence I can clearly see
Yes.
is a problem, and the outdoor storage.
yes.
And you've been communicating with them?
I haven't had any personal communication with them. That said, the property was posted, and also we do have a signed certified mail receipt on file. They had, and I noticed that they did some things, and it looks like they have gotten a start, but they need some help. I saw one day I was driving by and I saw a woman out. Looks like she was kind of picking up the property, but I didn't have chance to speak to her at all. But it does look like there's some intent in terms of bringing the property.
Looks like they're
into
trying.
compliance.
All right. In case CE 200900374, I make the following findings of fact on law. I find notice is sufficient. Find the property in violation of 18106A, 18106B, 94302A4, and 9471C. Respondent has 45 days to bring the property in compliance, or a fine of up to $50 per day may issue.
Matter number 35, CE 2009041711112 James Street.
Michael Williams, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. Property 1112 James Street was cited on 9/29/20. Certified mail was sent on 9/30/20. The certified mail was returned. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted on 9/30/20. The property was cited for 18-144 business tax receipt, 18-105A, wall being in a state of disrepair, 18105J, painting of the structure, 18106A, clean and sanitary conditions, 18106B, excessive growth, and 22-32A, certificate of use. Special Magistrate, the city would like to remove code sections 18-144 and 22-32-A due to the fact that I subsequently discovered that those code sections are not relevant at this particular time. Upon my inspection on last evening, I noted that the following code section had complied: 18106A, 18106B, and in addition to removal of 2232A and removal of 82-144. The remaining code sections are 18105A, as the wall still remains in disrepair, and 18105J, which there is still some painting that is necessary to the structure.
That does appear to be in some level of disrepair. How much time do you want to give them?
Let's see here. It's not a huge area. 45 days or a fine of $100 per day be imposed.
I can see the disrepair. What's the painting issue?
Where the stucco has literally kind of disintegrated off of the wall, that area is going to need to be repainted.
Okay. Have you had any contact with the owner?
In fact, I have. He and I spoke. He did indicate that he's not running a business there, that the building's pretty much vacant right now. And so we did discuss all of the other violations, and they did comply with most of them, with the exception of restoring of the broken stucco areas and painting of the exterior for those areas.
All right, in case CE 200900417, I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, I find the property in violation of 18105A, 18105J. Respondent has 45 days to bring the property in compliance, or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Matter number 36, CE 20100189313 Detura Street, Unit 101 has complied. Number 41, CE 20100114815 4th Street.
Good morning. Officer Phil Cartwright, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 815 4th Street was originally cited on October 9th of 2020 for clean and sanitary conditions, excessive overgrowth, failure to comply, inoperable vehicle, and alleyway cleanup. Service was achieved by certified mail. Excuse me. The property was posted on October 13th of 2020, as well as City Hall. The inoperable vehicles have been removed. All violations are still current. The city is asking that the property come into compliance within 5 days or abatement.
All right, let's unpack that here for a second. So the city's not proceeding under inoperable vehicles anymore?
No, sir. They have been complied.
All right, so tell me about the conditions on the property that you think constitute a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city of West Palm Beach.
The alleyway cleanup is a major issue. We've got a project throughout the city that we're trying to get a lot of the alleys cleaned up and maintained. There's a lot of overgrowth in the back where we've been getting repeated calls for raccoons and other type of vermin in the alleyway. So we're trying to get those taken care of one by one.
Do you believe the overgrowth constitutes habitat for vermin?
Yes, sir, I do.
What's the clean and sanitary issue on the property? Is there trash on the property?
That's behind the property and in front of it as well.
I can see the excessive growth. And the 74-4C5 has to do with the alleyway, is that it? Is that the...
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Have you had any contact with the property owner?
No, sir, I haven't.
Have they shown any evidence that they're trying to bring this property into compliance?
Other than the inoperable vehicles being removed, no, sir.
All right, in case CE 201001114, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106A, 18106B, 18215B, and 744C5. I make further findings that violations constitute a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city of West Palm Beach. I give the respondent 7 days to bring the property into compliance, or I authorize the city to enter the property and abate any and all violations. I hereby assess the cost of said abatement against the property and property owner.
Matter number 42, CE 201001117, 811 4th Street.
That one has been complied.
Matter number 43, CE 201000120, 815 7th Street.
Officer Phil Cartwright, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 815 7th Street was originally cited on October 13th of 2020 for excessive overgrowth, failure to comply, and alleyway cleanup. Service was achieved by certified mail. The property was posted on October 13th of 2020, as well as City Hall. All violations are still current. There has been no contact by the owner. The city is asking that the property come into compliance within 5 days or abatement.
So tell me about the conditions on this property.
This property is the same issue. They cut, as you can look at this picture, they cut some of the vegetation, but not all of it. So it's still an open violation. It needs to be cut down 100%.
And why is the overgrowth a threat to the health, safety, and welfare?
Same situation, rodents, raccoons.
And this issue is just on the rear of the property?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
And you've seen no evidence that the respondent has attempted to address this violation?
Other than the partial cut in the back, no, sir, they haven't.
I guess that's a pathway, right? Is that a pathway? Ugh. All right. All right, KCE 201001120, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106B, 18215B, and 744C5. Respondent has 7 days to bring the property in compliance. Make further finding that said violation constitutes a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city of West Palm Beach. In the absence of compliance, I hereby authorize the city of West Palm Beach to enter the property and abate any and all violations. Hereby charge the cost of said abatement against the property and property owner.
Matter number 44, CE 201001748, 810 5th Street, Unit 1.
Officer Phil Cartwright, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 810 Fifth Street was originally cited on October 15th of 2020 for excessive overgrowth, failure to comply, and alleyway cleanup. Services achieved by certified mail. The property was posted on October 15th of 2020, as well as City Hall. All violations are still current. The city is asking that the property come into compliance within 5 days or abatement.
I can't really tell from the pictures what's going on this one.
This one's the same issue, right? That's behind the property. It's in the alleyway, overgrowth in the back of the yard and the alleyway. So we're asking for the same as we've asked in the other 3 cases.
So in this particular case, the overgrowth is sufficient to constitute habitat for rodents and other vermin?
Yes, sir, it does.
And you believe that the condition is sufficiently bad to constitute a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And you had no response from the respondent in
No,
trying
sir,
to
I
correct
haven't.
this? All right, in case CE 201000174, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106B, 18215B, and 744C5. Respondent has 7 days to bring the property in compliance. I make further findings that violation constitutes a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city of West Palm Beach. In the absence of compliance, hereby authorize the city to enter the property and abate any and all violations. I hereby charge the costs of abatement against the property and property owner.
Matter number 45, CE 201000175, 812 Fifth Street, Unit A.
Officer Phil Cartwright, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was originally cited on October 15th of 2020 for excessive overgrowth, failure to comply, and alleyway cleanup. Service was achieved by certified mail. The property was posted on October 15th of 2020, as well as City Hall. There has been no contact by the owner. All violations are still current. The city is asking that the property come into compliance within 5 days or abatement.
So this is again the same situation?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
It is your testimony the condition of the property and the rear of the property, the sufficient growth to constitute habitat for vermin?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
And the respondent has not taken any action to correct this?
No, sir.
It is your opinion that it constitutes a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
All right, in case CE 201000175, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 18106B, 18215B, 744C5. Respondent has 7 days to bring the property into compliance. Make further finding that said violation constitutes a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city of West Palm Beach. In the absence of compliance, I hereby authorize the city to enter the property and abate any and all violations. I hereby charge the cost of said abatement against the property and property owner.
Matter number 46, CE 201001778, 16 Fifth Street.
Officer Phil Cartwright, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 816 Fifth Street was originally cited on October 16th of 2020 for excessive overgrowth, failure to comply, and alleyway cleanup, as well as garbage can litter. Service was achieved by certified mail. The property was posted on October 16th of 2020, as well as City Hall. The garbage can issue has been taken care of. All violations are still current. The city is asking that the property come into compliance within 5 days or abatement.
This is 816 Fifth Street.
Yes, sir.
Did any of these people clean up their,
No, sir.
not one, huh?
A lot of the people believe that that portion of the alleyway is not their responsibility. But based on the ordinance that we do have, it explains that the property owner is liable for 4 feet from their property line out into the alleyway to maintain.
All right, so in this case, we have excessive growth. We have garbage in this one too?
It was an issue with garbage in the front yard where there were bags that were sitting next to the garbage can and some trash that was sprawled out. So that they took care of, but everything else is still
So the
an
city's
ongoing
not
issue.
proceeding under 74-4A3?
No, sir.
Okay. And you believe the growth behind this house constitutes habitat for rodents and other vermin, and that constitutes a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city of West Palm Beach?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
All right, in case CE 201000177, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106B, 18215B, and 744C5. Respondent has 7 days to bring the property in compliance. If the property is not brought into compliance, I hereby authorize I make further finding that the violations constitute a threat to the health, safety, and welfare. In the absence of compliance, I authorize the city to enter the property and abate any and all violations. Hereby charge the cost of said abatement against property or property owner.
Special Magistrate, did you say 7 days or 5 days?
7 days.
Okay. Matter number 47, CE 20100198, 820 Fifth Street.
Has complied.
Matter number 48, CE 20100199, 630 Sixth Street.
Has complied.
Matter number 49, CE 20100202, 920 South Mangonia Circle.
Officer Phil Cartwright, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 920 South Mangonia Circle was originally cited on October 16th of 2020 for excessive overgrowth and failure to comply. Service was achieved by certified mail. The property was posted on October 16th of 2020, as well as City Hall. I've made no contact with the owner. All violations are still current. The city is asking that the property come into compliance within 5 days or abatement.
This is a vacant lot?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Why abatement in this case?
Toward the back of the property, probably about 2 weeks ago, the neighbor that lives adjacent to it had animal control come, and they trapped two, I think they were reticulated pythons
Oh,
that
fantastic.
were in the back corner. So,
That we're living on this lot?
correct.
I think that constitutes evidence of habitat for vermin.
Absolutely.
And, okay. All right, in case CE 201000202, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106B. I make further findings that violation constitutes a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city of West Palm Beach, or the respondent to come into compliance within 5 days, or a fine of or the city is authorized to enter the property and abate any and all violations. Cost of said abatement is charged against the property and property owner. Yeah, and I did say 5 days on that one.
Thank you.
Number 50, CE 200902385, 5214 Parker Avenue.
Good morning. Richard Pasmino, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. The property at 5214 Parker Avenue was cited for clean and sanitary conditions, excessive growth, trees/hedges obstructing the right-of-way, clean up to the center of the right-of-way, landscape maintenance, and unpaved parking at the property. This property was cited on September 17th, 2020. Certified mail was sent September 18th, 2020, and received on September 21st. The property was posted in City Hall September 22nd, 2020. I've had no contact from anyone at the property. As of yesterday, the property is still in violation. They have began some work regarding the sidewalk and the overgrowth on the other side, but the property is still in full violation of all code sections cited. The city is recommending the property comes into compliance with all code sections within 14 days, or that a fine of $75 a day be assessed until compliance is achieved.
All right, so let's talk about some of these. So what's the clean and sanitary issue?
Trash on the property, and including the sidewalk. It's on a corner, so there's actually 2 sidewalks.
That's interesting. Excessive growth?
On the sidewalk, you'll see a lot of it. Some of that, and then on the other sidewalk as well. It'll come up.
Okay. Trees or hedges obstructing the right of way?
It'll come up. So this is the other side of the corner, the other side of the street. That's some of the landscape maintenance that's not being done, needs to be replaced. Right there, a lot of those trees, and they've done some cutback, but it's still hanging over. It's still overgrowing and
That's pushing into
the sidewalk.
center to clean up to
Yeah,
center of row.
the vegetative debris that's covering the sidewalk.
Okay. Landscape maintenance, I can see. Parking.
Yeah, it was in some of those first pictures. On the left of their driveway, they're parking vehicles on a
Definitely in the right of way
landscaped
there.
area.
And there's still, the last time you inspected, there's still parking on the grass and unpaved areas?
Yes, as of yesterday.
Is it your opinion that all these things can be addressed within 14 days?
I do believe so. Yes.
It does look like they might have to resod here, huh?
Yes, they, a lot of it's
You know,
caused.
in abundance of caution, I'm just gonna give 21 days, because it does look like a fair amount of work here.
Okay.
In case CE 200900238, gonna make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106A, 18106B, 744C4, 744C5, 944462, 94482A. Respondent has 21 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $75 per day. May I issue?
Matter number 51, CE 20090239345 Bunker Ranch Road.
This property was cited September 17th, 2020. Certified mail was sent September 18th, 2020, and received September 21st. In addition, property and City Hall were posted on September 22nd, 2020. This property was cited for excessive growth, exterior paint, trees, hedges obstructing the right-of-way, fence/wall maintenance, landscape areas must be grass, landscape maintenance, and unpaved parking. I've had contact with the property manager via email. As of yesterday, violations 18106B, 18106G, 74-4-C-4, and 94-302A-4 are complied. The other violations remain and have not been addressed. So there's still unpaved parking. And there's still landscape maintenance. There's sod requirements. It'll show in the photos. The city's recommending, I was recommending 14 days, but I'll go with the 21 additional days for the property to come into compliance, or the city's asking for $75 a day fine until compliance is achieved. It does need to be resodded.
So they just have the 94442C1 that has to do with missing sod, right?
Yes, and the landscape maintenance as well.
Okay. And there's still parking?
They're still parking on the grass and on the landscape area by the sidewalk.
In case CE 200900239, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 94442C1, 944462, and 94482A. Respondent has 21 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $75 per day. May I issue?
Matter number 52, CE 20090241371 Bunker Ranch Road.
Richard Pasmino, Code Enforcement Officer, City West Palm Beach. This property was cited September 17th, 2020. Certified mail was sent September 18th and received September 21st, 2020. In addition, the property and City Hall were posted on September 22nd. This property was cited for roof repair, walls and foundation, external doors and windows. There's boards on the windows at the property. Exterior paint, junk abandoned vehicle. There was an inoperative vehicle being stored on the property. Trees, hedges obstructing the right-of-way. Landscape requirements. Landscape areas must be grass, and landscape maintenance at the property. I met the owner of the property the property is vacant. It was a mother's property. The owner is the son who takes care of the mother. So he the property is not being maintained. I've addressed all the issues. He understands all the issues, and he has started working on complying the issues. As of yesterday, the only violation in compliance is 34102A. The inoperative vehicle has been removed from the property. All the other violations remain. I spoke to the owner this week. He wasn't able to make it to the hearing, but he is asking for 60 additional days. He understands all the violations. The city believes this is sufficient time to come into compliance with all the remaining violations. If not, the city is asking for $100 a day fine after the 60 days.
All right, I see the roof issue. What's the external doors and windows?
There's boards on some of the windows towards the back of the property. They would have to remove the boards and make sure the windows are not broken or
I see the paint.
in working manner.
The trees and hedges are hanging in the public right of way.
There is still a little bit more towards the bunker side. They cut some of it back. A lot of the dirt and grass was washing off onto the sidewalk, covering the whole sidewalk. They began work. They removed a lot of it from the street and a lot of it from the sidewalk, but some of it does remain.
And like you, okay. All right, in case CE 200902441, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18103B, 18103E, 18106G, 744C4, 744C5, 94442C1, 9444662. I give the respondent 60 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of up to $100 per day may issue.
Matter number 53, CE 200903218, 820 Green Street.
Richard Pasmino, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. The property at 820 Green Street was cited for rental license violation, certificate of use required, junk inoperable vehicle, landscape areas must be grass, and outdoor storage at the property. This property was cited on, excuse me, this property was cited September 22nd, 2020. Certified mail was sent September 23rd and signed for on September 24th, 2020. I spoke to the owner regarding the violations, and as of yesterday, violations 34102A, 94442-C-1, and 94-71-C are in compliance. The rental license and certificate of use violations are still out of compliance. There is no rental application in our system, and that requires a inspection as well. The city is recommending 30 additional days for this property to come into the compliance with those two violations, or the city is asking for $100 a day fine until compliance is achieved.
So the only thing left outstanding on the property are the certificate of use and rental license,
Correct.
and there are renters on this property?
Yes, when I spoke with the owner, the vehicle that was there, he said it was his tenant's, and it is a rental property. It's a duplex.
Okay, in case CE 200903221, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18162A and 2232A. Respondent has 30 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Matter number 54, CE 200903248, 818 Hanson Street.
Richard Pasmino, Code Enforcement Officer, City West Palm Beach. This property was cited on September 22nd, 2020. Certified mail was sent out September 23rd, 2020, and received September 28th. The property and City Hall were posted on September 28th, 2020. This property was cited for location of artificial turf on the property. Landscape areas must be grass, and for expired permit for the circular driveway pavers. I've had no contact from the owner of the property, but they have complied 3 of the violations: 94451A, 94451D, and 94442C-1 have complied. They removed the artificial turf and replaced it with living grass. The expired permit is still in violation. There's been no change in our systems. And like I said, there was no contact from the owner. The city's recommending 45 additional days for the property to comply this violation of expired permits. If not, the city is asking for $100 a day fine until compliance is achieved.
Tell me about the expired permit. What is the expired permit for?
The permit was for the circular driveway that they have there. It's a paver driveway. They applied for it. I think it was denied, and it just went into expired. They never got the inspection, I believe. So they would have to.
So they completed the work, but they didn't get the permit.
I think they did get the permit. They didn't get any inspections. I want to say that's the correct.
So they had the permit issued, but they didn't close it.
They didn't get it inspected. They didn't close it, so it expired. They would have to reapply for that permit and get the required inspections.
Okay, and so you've had no contact with them, though you did have certified mail-in posting?
Correct.
All right, in case CE 200900324, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of FBC Section 105.4.1.3. Respondent has 45 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $100 per day issue.
Matter number 55, CE 20090325839 Hanson Street complied. Matter number 56, CE 201000245 5317 Parker Avenue.
Richard Pasmino, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. 5317 Parker Avenue was cited for clean and sanitary conditions, trash and debris on the property, excessive growth, failure to comply, and landscape maintenance. This property was cited on October 20th. Certified mail was sent October 21st and received October 23rd. The property and City Hall were posted on October 22nd. I've had no contact from the owner of this property. The reinspection date was 11/16/2020. And at that date, the property was overgrown. They did cut the grass after posting the violation on October 22nd. But by the time the reinspection came about, it was overgrown again and out of violation. As of yesterday, it is overgrown. It is in violation. The city's recommending 14 additional days for this property to come into compliance, or the city's asking for an order to abate the violations at the property. I've had no contact from the owner.
Why an abatement in this case?
The grass and overgrowth and trash on the property is right on the sidewalk and the public right-of-way. It's the main thoroughfare of the city, and it just invites more trash to be thrown there.
Do you believe that constitutes a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city?
Yes.
Can you tell me why?
The overgrowth can be a habitat for vermin and other rodents.
So the issues on the property still are clean and sanitary, excessive growth, and landscape maintenance?
Correct.
And you're seeking 14 days of abatement?
Yes.
All right, in case CE 201000245, make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106A, 18106B, 18215B, 944462, or the respondent to come to compliance within 14 days. I make further finding that said violation constitutes a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city of West Palm Beach. If the property is not in compliance after 14 days, I authorize the city of West Palm Beach to enter the property and abate any and all violations. I hereby assess the cost of said abatement against the property and property owner.
Matter number 57, CE 201000249 South Flagler Drive.
Richard Pasmino, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. This property is a vacant lot adjacent to another vacant lot that I have cited recently. The property was cited for clean and sanitary conditions, trash and debris on the property, excessive growth, and failure to comply. The property was cited on October 20th. Certified mail was sent October 21st and the property was posted October 22nd. I've had no contact from the owner. The lot is still overgrown as of yesterday. The adjacent lot that I had cited, it did fail the reinspection, and it had contractors scheduled to go out and clean it, but they had ended up cutting it themselves. But that property was found out of violation. They own both lots, and that other property is scheduled to be a chronic nuisance property. This is the lot right next to it, same owner, and it is still out of violation.
What remedy is the city seeking?
The city is asking for 7 additional days for the property to correct the violations, or the city is asking for an order to abate the violations at the property.
Tell me about the conditions on the property that you believe warrant an abatement.
The property is overgrown, and it's a overgrown lot that habitats for, it's a good habitat for vermin, and it constitutes
a threat to the neighbors.
Yes.
KCE 201000249 to make the following findings of fact and law. Find the property in violation of 18106A, 18106B, and 18215B. I make further findings that violations constitute a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city of West Palm Beach. I hereby authorize the respondent to come into compliance within 7 days. In the absence of compliance, I hereby authorize the city to enter the property and abate any and all violations. The cost of said abatement shall be held against the property and property owner.
Matter number 58, CE 20100253415 Washington Road.
Richard Pasmino, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited October 20th, 2020. Certified mail sent October 21st, and the city hall and property were posted on October 22nd, 2020. This property was cited for clean and sanitary conditions, excessive growth, failure to comply violations, overgrowth. Grass and weeds on the property are overgrown. Trees and hedges obstructing the right-of-way, clean up to the center of the right-of-way, and landscape maintenance. I've had no contact from the owner of the property. It does appear that some work has started, but as of yesterday, the violations still remain. The city's recommending 14 additional days for this property to come into compliance, or the city is asking for an order to abate the violations at the property.
Tell me about the abatement.
The city's asking for abatement. The whole property is completely overgrown, so the city was asking for the right to enter the property. The work that they did start is only the stuff that interrupts the sidewalk, the stuff that's overgrown. I have a separate case for that's going to hearing later on for the fence and the paint and the windows. But I do believe the owner's living there.
Do you believe the overgrowth constitutes habitat for vermin and is a threat to the neighbors?
It definitely does. The whole yard is completely overgrown and overrun with trees, plants, and weeds.
All right, in case CE 201000253, make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106A, 18106B, 18215B, 744C3, 744C4, 744C5, and 9444662. Make further findings that violation constitutes a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city of West Palm Beach, or the respondent to come to compliance within 14 days. In the absence of compliance, I authorize the city of West Palm Beach to enter the property and abate any and all violations. I hereby assess the cost of said abatement against the property and property owner.
Matter number 59, CE 20100263856 Dobbin Street has complied.
Thank you.
Jumping to other matters. Special Magistrate, can we call the last few cases first, or?
I think we're 10 minutes into other matters. We probably should, right?
Okay, other matters. Other matter number 3, CE 20080297247 Spruce Avenue.
Two 417 Spruce Avenue.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, these people are all here now.
I
All
believe
right,
we-
this is the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate for the City of West Palm Beach. We're doing the other matters section, which is probably while you are here. If you were not here at the beginning when this hearing started and you're going to testify, or you think you might testify, or there's a possibility that you might testify, would you please rise and raise your right hand? You swear or affirm that all testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under penalty of perjury on the laws of the state of Florida? Please be seated. We're going to proceed in the order they appear on the agenda in the special matters section. If you are here, obviously your case will be called before the others are called. Once you hear your case called, go ahead and proceed down to the podium on my right-hand side where these two fine people are. The city will put on their testimony and evidence first, after which time you'll have an opportunity to respond and explain to me what you're asking for, and after which I will make a ruling. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, which means the formal rules of evidence do not apply. However, all testimony is taken under oath under penalty of perjury. You are on.
Mitch Posner, Code Enforcement Supervisor. This first case is not a lien reduction. It is a fine status hearing that you ordered your last time out.
I did, huh?
Yes, sir. I am standing in for Joe Petrick, who is recovering from a car accident.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So I'm not the one that verified the bar was in business. If you need us to reschedule, we can do so, but I have all his information, as well as Officer Ray Leung, who did one of the bar visits to determine they did operate in violation of your order.
Okay, so
Just to continue, or?
yeah, why don't you explain, because I haven't recalled this case yet. So explain to me what the status of this case is and why and where we are.
Understood. This is in reference to a business, Kava Bar at 2417 Spruce. They're the tenant that was operating the business there. The actual citation was on the owner of the business, which is common. The owner is responsible for what occurs on their property. At the hearing, they were found in violation for operating the business without a business tax receipt or a certificate of use. The order required the business to cease operating within 7 days, or a fine would be imposed for each time a code enforcement officer shows the business is operating. This office confirmed the business was open either via conversations with the tenant directly, visiting the business, calling the business, or observing patrons leaving the business 9 times from October 15th through October 27th, which would be a total fine of $2,250. It appears the business has ceased operating as of November 6th of this year. The notice for today's hearing was issued via certified mail and posting, of course, on November 6th.
So there was a cease and desist order.
Sure.
Essentially, yeah. Okay.
I mean, that was part of the case, and that part was to cease and desist the operating of the business.
Okay. Can you tell me your names, please?
Larry Stebbins.
And
Larry
the
Stebbins.
person and who is with you?
I am Lydia Stevens.
I'm on.
Okay. And you are in relation to this property?
The owner of the business.
The owner of the business, okay. So the city is alleging that you operated the business 9 times in violation of the previous order.
Yes. Actually, every time we had a violation, they would put a paper on our wall. We didn't find out that we had to be closed down until somebody came in telling us, until we saw online that they were checking on us to see that we were open. So we didn't make it to the last hearing, and then we didn't actually know we had to be closed down. And we found out, we obviously closed down right away. Since then, you can see the paper in one of those photos, you can see the paper that says that we were closed down and why we were, so. It's surprising that they always put paperwork that we're in violation, but they didn't put a paperwork that we had to shut down, so.
We did not start this business without the license. When I came, I did the paperwork, and on January 21st, 2020, I spoke with, I paid $128.42 for business to open the business, and I spoke with Sergeant Rachel, and then I asked her, can I open the business? She said, yes, you can, And she make me, I pay, I have proof here that I pay. And she said, as long as you pass the agriculture health department. So I said, we already passed on that. She said, okay, you can open now the business. So we always knew that I always knew that we have a license because, we pay. And then she said, after that, you need to call Officer Joe Patrick, which I have written down here. And she said, also, you need to get the fire person, Peter Leduc. And I called him, they went to inspect everything, and that's when Mr. Joe Patrick,
Hold on 1 second. Who was here last time? Because there was a
For
respondent.
the property or for the city?
For the property.
The property owner was here last time. I can address that part of it. I kind of object to rehearing it. It's already been adjudicated.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's some kind of misunderstanding. I know they never passed the code inspection to get the BTR issued. There's some misunderstanding there. But I'd like to point out that all of these issues, and it wasn't them that was cited, so whether or not they knew is between them and the property owner. The property owner was cited. They were originally cited February of 27th of this year. The first hearing was canceled due to COVID. They then changed the name of their LLC that owns it. We recited. We finally got to a hearing last month. When they were notified by the property owner this has to change, I don't know. I have 3 pieces of information that the property's attorney asked us to submit. We're not normally in the habit of presenting the other attorney's evidence, but due to COVID, we did agree this time we'd do the courtesy. I have his email. I have a copy of their temporary injunction, which was filed October 28th, and a copy of their eviction, which was filed October 27th. But I'll also point out that this is irrelevant. All of this was done after all the dates that we verified they were still open.
Well, October 27th is when we shut down, when we found out. That was when we found out.
That's what we would find out.
That's the last date we verified they were open.
Oh,
So
obviously it
I
is.
understand that, but whether or not they knew has no bearing
so
on the fine
the-
status because it was the property owner that was cited.
Technically, you're not even a party to this code action. This action is between the city of West Palm Beach and the owner of the property. The issue you're raising about whether or not you were noticed is actually between you and the property owner, because the city notices the property owner. They don't necessarily notice you. And the property owner was told, since I was here, I can remember this, they were told to cease operation of this business until they obtain the appropriate documents. Now, any fine that the city is going to assess will be on the property owner, not on you, because that's the...
Yeah, but magistrate, the owner says we have to pay for everything.
I can't speak to whatever your relationship is with the owner, but let me take a look quickly about this.
We're doing the most. We have an engineering, we have a contractor working.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just read what
Sure.
the owner submitted here.
Okay.
So the owner would like us to levy the fine on the personal property of the violator?
Magistrate, you've been doing this longer than me. Property owners are responsible for what's going on in their
Yeah,
property,
but-
even if it's caused by a tenant.
That
So
is- yeah.
the argument's moot.
That is not how either 162 or the city code work. And I guess they've given me a copy of their verified motion for temporary injunction against,
Yes, sir, from October 27th and to October 28th, which is all after the dates that we verified they were open.
so what are the dates that the city has verified that they are open?
Okay. All in October, 15th, 16th, 17th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 24th, 26th, and 27th.
So let me ask this to the tenants. It looks like your landlord filed a lawsuit to try and prevent you from operating. Did they not reach out to you at some point before they filed this lawsuit and say, please
That's
stop
when-
operating?
Well, that's when they told us that we had to shut down. The day before that, they told us, and we shut down the day
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I guess
We
that
have
was his
been-
way of forcing us to, but we shut down when he told us that we had to.
We had 3 weeks already.
If we would've got this
closed.
violation on our door, like we got every other violation, we would've closed down. I don't understand why we didn't.
Can I respond to that, sir?
So what remedy is the city seeking here?
I'm sorry?
So the city is seeking what, a
Well,
fine?
You had already issued the order of $250 per day that they remained open. We verified 9 times they were open past that order. Total is $2,250.
I mean, Ms. Manchester, we have been closed for so long.
The problem is that you weren't here, so I can't speak to what you were here. But
it's our first
we
time dealing with this.
so we issued an order to the landlord, to person, that this could not operate without the proper permits, and because I didn't want to fine them in the past, because there seemed to be some confusion, I made it front going. I said, so make sure this doesn't happen again, right? So that there was no fine assessed last time. And basically the way that I framed it was, for each time that the city declares that, this business is operating without a permit, I'm going to do a one-time fine of $250. I did this so that I wouldn't be in the position of fining you because there was some degree of confusion, it seemed to me, between the landlord, the city, and you. Unfortunately, I'm sort of bound by the order that I gave, and the city has presented testimony now that the business is open 9 times in violation of the order. So at this point, I'm going to assess the fine. But because of the way that the city operates, the way that the Chapter 162 of the Florida Code operates, the fine is going to be assessed against the landlord, not against you, because that's how our system operates. However, as in the case of all code fines, and for many of the people that are being here, once you've brought things into compliance, you can come back to the special magistrate and ask for a reduction of the fine. But that's not what's happening here today. At this point, I have to follow through on the original order. So in this case, I'm going to take notice that there are 9 violations at $250 per violation, for a total fine of $2,250.
And how do we get the reduction, you said?
Just talk to the city staff and they can explain the process to you, okay?
My God, this is awful.
Other matter number 4, CE 1705-0672-255 Evernia Street, Unit 1317.
Case ending in 672-255 Vernia Street, Unit 1317, date ordered 8/2 of 17. Fine started 9/6 of 17, ran for 744 days. Current total $74,400, $100 a day. Date of compliance 9/20 of 19. Same owner, it's for no rental license. And the mitigation is, what they put in the application is there was a misunderstanding. As it's the same owner, our standard ask is generally 30%. It's currently on the market for $240,000.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Yes, Elizabeth Felipe.
And what is your relation to the owner of this property?
I'm helping them with the lien reduction and with a few personal matters that they have. The owners are very ill people. They originally had bought these properties for their daughters, and the daughters were applying for visa. They're from Argentina and were killed in a car accident. They had a property manager.
Very sorry to hear that. I said, I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yes, it's, they're in a really tough situation, even though the price of the property seems high. After they lost their daughters, the husband has been struggling with cancer, and he's gone back and forth with that issue. And after where we've been working on the lien reduction, the lien paperwork, we're going to a virtual address that they had with the property appraiser from when they purchased the property, way before I even came into this picture. And now I'm just trying to help them because the husband has cancer. We don't know how long he's going to be lasting. The wife was just diagnosed a couple weeks ago with the COVID. And every day, all I'm getting is, please, I don't want to leave my husband with, a bad situation, and vice versa with the husband. And I was hoping that they would give the lowest leniency that they could, so that they could just get out of the property and have the funds to pay for their medical bills. These people are in a really bad situation. I don't know what else.
Ma'am, what is your relation to them?
I'm just a friend.
Sir, she is listed as the designated agent.
Okay.
We do have an affidavit to that effect.
Well, the city has offered to reduce the fine, which, if I read this correctly, is $74,400. The city has offered to reduce it to 30%, which, did you do the math?
23,320.
2320.
23,320.
23,320, okay. So the city has offered to reduce it from 74,000 to 23,320.
Is there anything better that they can do?
Wait,
I don't want to sound offensive or out of place, just
You
because
have
I
to
know
ask-
their
what would-
situation.
What would you be asking me for?
10,000. I've tried to comply. I haven't even charged them. Most of this paperwork with the licenses and everything, I've been paying it from here since I'm here in the States. I wouldn't ask if I didn't know that these people were medically ill. I understand. I have a few other properties that I work with, and I know the whole procedure with the rental licenses. And I'm a U.S. citizen. I don't want to seem like I'm going against the state. It's just with this particular couple, after they've lost their daughters, I don't even know what else to help them with.
Do we know why they didn't pay the rental license?
We didn't actually even find out about the issue on the property till they had a contract for sale on it, and then they sent it to me. That's where we actually found out. The address that was on the paperwork where it was going is a virtual address. It's not even a physical address.
Of course, the city wouldn't know. We just know what's listed on file.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
All right, and the city is sticking with their 30?
We sympathize greatly with their situation, of course, but we would consider 70% a vast reduction.
Tell you what I'll do. In this case, I'll reduce it to 15%, roughly, which is about, I'll reduce it to 11,000 even, payable
Thank you.
within 60
I
days.
appreciate that.
I'm sorry, how many days was that?
60.
Other matter number 6, CE 19050365, 1401 Village Boulevard.
Go ahead.
Case ending in 365, 1401 Village Boulevard, number 931. One moment, I want to confer with Arlene. I'm not sure they were sworn in. I don't think they stood to get sworn in.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under penalty of perjury and the laws of the state of Florida?
Okay.
I'm sorry, sir, thank you. Okay. 1401 Village Boulevard, number 931. Date ordered 8/21 of 19, fine started 9/23 of 19. Ran for 351 days, total $70,200, $200 a day. Date of compliance 9/8 of 20. It is the same owner. The only mitigation they explained was they didn't receive it, but we've already verified it was sent to the correct PAPA address, which still remains unchanged. It's the same address it was then. And we've got the post office verification that it was signed for. City is asking for 30%.
Can you tell me your names, please?
My name is Karina Hassan.
I'm sorry, one more time into the microphone.
Karina Hassan.
Are you the owner of the property?
No, I'm the realtor of the property.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time. Can you
I'm
speak
the
into the
real
mic?
estate agent for the property. I'm the real estate agent.
Oh, you're a real estate agent. And who are you, sir? Who's the gentleman next to you?
He's my husband. He speaks English better than me. That's the reason why he's coming to help me.
Okay. And so what are you asking me for, and why should I grant that to you?
Me está diciendo. ¿Qué me está preguntando?
No.
Can you repeat, please?
Do we have anyone that can translate? Please.
No objection, sir.
Yeah, if you can.
Yes, sir.
Please.
La propiedad se estaba vendiendo y ahí nos enteramos que había este lien.
property was being sold, and that's when they found out they had the lien.
Y-
saben qué es lo que tú le estás pidiendo a él para reducir.
El dueño es argentino
The owners are Argentinian,
y el dueño manejaba su propiedad
and the owner managed his own property,
y nunca recibió las notas
and
estas.
he never received any letters.
Estas notas llegaron a la oficina del contador que le armó la LLC en su momento.
It went to the gentleman that opened up his LLC, I guess the accountant, abogado.
A contador.
The accountant, his accountant that opened up the LLC.
Y nunca recibió estas notas, entonces nunca pudo responder porque no sabía nada y nos enteramos cuando se estaba vendiendo la propiedad que estaba este lien. Y de hecho la propiedad ya no está más rentada desde hace más de un año. El dueño está en Argentina.
So the owner is still in Argentina. She's claiming that the owner never received the information, I guess, from the accountant. And they only found out recently when the house was being put for sale.
Can you ask her what they're asking me for?
¿Qué es lo que tú le estás pidiendo a él?
Una reducción.
A reduction.
They have to give me a number.
¿Tienes un número en mente para
1.500.
1,500?
They want to reduce from 70,200 to 1,500?
¿Tú lo quieres reducir de 70,000 a 1,000?
Si se puede, sí.
If you can, sir, please.
Decirle que la propiedad no estuvo rentada desde más de un año. Hace más de un año que no está
The
rentada.
property hasn't been rented for over a year,
Desde agosto.
of August of last year.
And what is the city offering?
30%, which would be 21,060.
The city's obligation in these cases is to send notice to whoever is registered in the property appraiser's records.
¿Qué dice?
Que el condado de la ciudad se lo manda a la dirección que está en los papeles y ellos se lo mandaron, lo que quiere decir él.
Ajá. Sí, lo que pasa es que él nunca lo recibió.
Sí, pero esa era la. She's saying he didn't receive it, and I'm explaining to her that the city sent the information to the address on file.
It's not a legal excuse to not obtain notice if the notice was sent to the right place.
Que no se puede usar esa excusa si se mandó a la dirección que estaba en los papeles que mandaron a la dirección.
Bueno, no puedo, no sé.
Can they give me any other reason why I should reduce this fine other than the notice issue, which isn't a very good one?
Tú le puedes dar otra excusa o otra forma para aplicarle a él para ver si él te puede reducir esto más. Que eso no es una buena excusa, dice.
¿Se había mudado de esa oficina o no?
Él se lo está manejando el otro contador, el contador que está en Argentina. Y no,
explicarle.
que no, o sea, él no recibe, no le dieron la información. Yo sé que no es y que está perdiendo un montón de hecho está perdiendo plata con la venta también.
Is the city, the city wants to stick to the 30%, I assume?
Yes, sir.
Give me a second here to do a little math. All right, what I'm willing to do is I'll reduce the city's offer to 15% instead of 30%, which I believe if I do the math correctly comes out to
$10,530.
$10,500.30.
Te lo vas a reducir en vez de 30% a un 15%, que son 10,000 centavos, sir.
$10,530.
$10,530.
Es lo menos que puede.
She's asking, is that the least that you can do, sir?
I think that's the only fair thing I can do.
Eso es lo que él dice que es justo.
That's a reduction of your fine for 85%, and you really haven't given me a very good legal reason why I should reduce it at all.
Que te lo estás reduciendo 85% y no le diste suficiente razón para bajarle más que eso.
All right, but I'll give you 60 days.
Te dan 60 días para pagar eso.
¿Y cómo se puede pagar? ¿Cómo se paga eso?
She wants to know how they can pay that. Va tan abajo del papel que ella te va a dar.
Porque él está en Argentina, él tendría que hacer una transferencia.
That he's in Argentina, he's going to have to make a transfer. And I told him
Okay.
this.
Okay.
And we didn't get the money.
Do they think 60 days is enough time? I mean, we have no objection to extending that if it's not enough time.
Do you need more time?
Ustedes necesitan más de 60 días.
No, él quiere, tiene la propiedad, la está vendiendo, la necesita
That the
vender.
property is being sold, they want to resolve it as soon as possible.
Okay,
Okay.
so we'll leave it at 60.
Se puede que en el cierre que se encargue, o sea, que el dinero que él recibe del cierre que se lo transfieran acá o no.
They want to know if in the closing, can you get the funds from the closing?
You're going to have to take that up with the city. That's beyond the scope of my.
Eso tienes que preguntarlo con otra persona y no puedes dar eso.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes.
No, ya eso es final. Ya tiene que pagar eso en 60 días. Luego, mucha suerte. De nada.
Other matter number 1, CE 2001021 1010 9th Street.
Case ending in 281-1010 9th Street, date order 219 of 20, fine started 321 of 20, ran for 150 days, total $15,100 a day, date of compliance 8/18 of 20. Same owner. Their mitigation is there was a COVID delay and not enough time given, but the case was open January of 14th. They were given until March 23rd, which was over 2 months, and the state of emergency wasn't until March 9th. So they had a significant amount of time before there was even a state of emergency. The city's asking for 30%.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Yes, sir. My name is Sean Wilt. I'm the property owner, and this is Dwayne Barrett, my property manager. Sir, I purchased the property on 27 November of 2019, inherited the electrical issues that became this code violation. I received this code violation on January 30th with a requirement to comply by February 14th. Apparently there was the special magistrate hearing was to be held on February 19th. We received and were issued a permit to correct this issue on February 18th. Prior to that original magistrate hearing, which both of us were unaware of. I did receive the finding of facts from that hearing, which is when I found out about that hearing, giving us that additional 30 days to comply by, March, I was required to comply by March 20th. We made sure everything was done and completed, again, from this legacy electrical issue that was done prior to my ownership. On March 18th, prior to the required date of the city, we had requested for the final inspection and were in compliance with the original code violation for the interior panels, outlets, and switches that were replaced. However, there was an additional violation that was found for exterior electrical that was replaced prior to my ownership. So we ended up being passed on a rough inspection for all the interior work that was the original violation, and were then required to now come back and complete there's a 3-foot requirement for the distance to operate at the FPL based on the existing interior structure of where this electrical room is located on my building, on my property. I had to completely relocate the electrical panels to the exterior of the building, extensive architect work, extensive electrical engineerings, revisions to the plans and everything. Now, at this point, to a new violation and this new issue with this concern, we are now in the onset of COVID and obviously extenuous delays and shutdowns from the pandemic during this time. Continue to push and do everything we could to meet the timelines as prescribed by the city. We actually, during that period, requested if there can be some sort of extension from the original hearing, and if we can be seen at a hearing. We were denied and said that we need to just close out the permit and then come back for a lien reduction, which we closed out the permit and had final inspections of completely relocating this pre-existing.
When was that done?
On August 18th of this year. And FPL came out it was in July 17 was when FPL came out and we did the meter transfer and then passed the final inspection on August 18th. Again, sir, in every step, the original violation that again was a pre-existing condition that I inherited from this building, I'm happy that it is properly and to code at this point. But when this violation came about, I did everything I possibly could to meet the timelines of the city with the exception of coming and being aware of that original special magistrate hearing, which I believe I would have been granted sufficient time to complete the work that we tried to do.
So the issue seems to be that there was an internal and an external issue?
Yes, sir. The original code violation was
And your argument is that you completed the internal issue on time, but were not aware that there was an external issue until the inspection to close out the internal one?
That is correct, sir, and that was done prior to the requirements of the original special magistrate hearing.
What's the city's, is that an accurate representation?
Several responses to that. First, I was not made aware of the extra time and the extra issue with the electrical, but this was a building case with an electrical inspector, and I don't have that expertise, and I won't question his expertise on such a safety issue. However, the extension certainly does run into COVID delays. I can't disagree there, even if we have no way to prove whether or not the original work predated their ownership. But with the COVID delay, the city is willing to reduce their ask to 20%.
And sir, I do have some of the inspection periods to show if required for on 3/18, how the rough was passed, which was for the interior work, but we had failed the overall, permit to pass as they found the additional exterior work that was now required.
What are you asking me for?
I mean, sir, we did everything we possibly could to meet the timelines of the city. I'm truly here today asking to reduce all lien charges per this case. As per the original violation, we were in compliance. We did meet them within the prescribed times, and then we're required to execute additional work that we did in the most timely manner within the pandemic.
And the city's at what, 20%?
Yes, sir. Frankly, not being aware of the argument that what they were actually cited for was completed, if it's going to be decided based on that, we'd rather pull this and fully investigate that and have the building electrical inspector from the case here to testify to any of that. But we're not aware of these issues.
Here, I'll give you an option. Here's your option.
Sure.
Option one, I'll reduce this to $1,500 payable within 60 days. Option two, I'm going to have to get the electrical inspector in here to testify about what actually happened. So you take your pick.
And I guess what do we think the timeline is for? I've got all this money sitting in escrow, right now from
I'm sure we could probably schedule this for the next hearing.
We'll do whenever your next hearing is, sir.
We don't have a schedule yet? Yeah.
And I guess, I mean, the investigation would be to determine whether or not the original violation was for,
Right.
These interior panels and.
Not that I don't believe your representation, but at this particular case, I'd probably have to confirm with the city that was their assessment of the situation as well.
Correct, sir. Let me add to that. It was really never a violation. What happened, they as they previously bought the building with all this stuff, they had originally owed $100,000 in escrow with the previous title company. And he signed and released it thinking that everything was done. What they did was they rushed to get the work done so we could get everything, so they could get their money back.
This is the previous owner, sir.
When we took over, we think that everything's okay, then the violation has come. And so forth. We fixed everything on the original inspection, get them out there in time to pass it. However, when the inspector comes, he says, "Congratulations, man, but I have a problem." It's nothing to do with the building. It's just a code issue. The building is built in 1975 or so.
50,
yeah, very old building. So,
no, look, I'm with you. If the city confirms that you were in compliance appropriately before the required deadline, then I'm willing to remove the fine. But I can't do that in the abstract. I'd actually need the city inspector to say, because they might say, well, in part of the code violation included some of the outdoor stuff that wasn't done. I don't know what they're going to say.
Well, it wasn't the outdoor stuff.
Like I said, what I'm willing to do, if you want the resolution of it right now, I'll reduce it to $1,500 and you can be done with it. If you want to go, if you want to contest that issue about whether or not you were fully in compliance at that time, then, we'll reschedule it, we'll bring in the city inspector, and they can testify as to what. Now, I will warn you this, if the city inspector comes in and says, well, there's a whole mess of problems here, and this was a big issue, it might end up being higher than $1,500. That's the risk you take. But based on what you've told me, I'm willing to reduce it from $15,000 to $1,500 right now and settle the case.
Yeah, as much as, as much as the facts that we were given by the inspectors, by the code enforcement that we called and talked to, I do not have any written documentation stating that it was for that. That was from meeting with them on site and all of that. So, I mean, I hate to, I hate to take the 10% because I believe we were in compliance, but without knowing that
It's up to you. I have no dog in the fight. I'm just trying to be fair.
I believe I need to just accept the 10% of the fine. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
How much time do you need?
The money's sitting in escrow. I mean, 60 days. I mean, really, please allow 60 days, sir.
All right, 1,500, 60 days. Thank you for coming in, sir.
Thank you.
Here's a copy of your order. Other matter number 5, CE 19010410, 4280 San Marino Boulevard, Unit 106.
My translator is back.
Yes, sir.
I thank you, by the way. I really appreciate your help with that.
Anytime.
Case ending in 410-4280 San Marino Boulevard, number 106. Date order 4/17 of 19, fine started 5/21 of 19, ran for 346 days. Total $69,200 a day, date of compliance 5/1 of 20. Same owner, the city asking for 30% since same owner. The mitigation actually is blaming the BTR officer. I was hoping to have him here, but he's obviously tied up. But what I do have are several emails where the BT officer kept trying to schedule an inspection, including one time when he went and nobody was there to meet him so that he could do the inspection. So that's how this went on so long. But I will add, courtesy of Mr. Herrera's goodwill in assisting us today, we'll reduce our ask to 25%.
Floor is yours, sir.
Abel Herrera, thank you very much. Going back to the initial violation was, I've owned the property since 2005, and I've had, and I've rented it ever since. I was made aware originally of there was a code inspection that I had to pay $330-something for the rental fee, which I never knew about. I'm not saying that excuses me. The second I found out, I paid it in full. The code enforcement said he had to do an inspection of the property, which was the back and forth. At that time, there was no issues. We finally coordinated. I live down in South Florida, so it's an hour drive for me. It's over 70 miles from my home. And I have to coordinate with the tenant. Long story short, I find out about this because I have my property. I was scheduled to close 10/1. Obviously, due to COVID, financial hardship. That's why I'm selling it. I didn't want to, but I have to. So when I was made aware of this lien, I immediately called the code enforcement person. What happens is, when we were exchanging emails after he said he had a sink issue and a screen was missing on the exterior of my condominium. Both things were fixed. There was a phone call. I do everything via email, but this email, so I did call him and I said it was done. I never heard anything back. Based on the notes in the development services, it shows that there was a certified mail sent to me and it was returned back. I was not aware. I did not get that certified mail. So I never thought there was an issue. The second I go to sell, they do a property search. The property search comes back. I immediately called. They then went into the code enforcement, called my tenant. They confirmed. He stopped that date. And then I spoke with Ms. Williams for the last 60 days, followed up at least 3 to 4 times a week to get this done because I didn't want to lose my closing because I do have to close on the property. Every step along the way, I've been cordial. I've answered, I've been available, and I'm asking for leniency and hopefully to have this totally reduced 100%, sir.
So what are you asking me for?
100%, just due to the fact that I never received the certified mail. I was not aware of this, and every time I ever had a situation with the city, I responded immediately and effectively. And once I found out, when they did the property search, I called that same day, and I got this resolved as soon as possible.
The certified mail thing bothers me a little bit. The city sent it to the Papa address, presumably, right?
It was sent to the POP address, certified regular mail, and posted to property in City Hall.
And it was
Of course, if he
returned.
was living down south from here, and no tenant told him that it was posted to the property, he wouldn't
Right.
be aware of that.
Unfortunately, if a tenant doesn't tell me, I'm sorry. And I wasn't aware of the screen missing and the sink issue. The second they told me that, it was fixed. I've never had any problems with any of my tenants. As I said, I just have one in Palm Beach, but I had 3, which I just sold recently due to my financial situation.
As far as the city casino notice was certainly due and proper, in accordance with Chapter 162. The email show that there was no lack of effort on the code officer's part, and the onus remains on the property owner once it's been adjudicated to make sure it gets complied.
And I was never notified of, once I was notified, I took care of everything, and before, based on the dates here, when it did go into the lien process, I was never aware of that. My assumption is when I told Mr. Levine, if I'm not mistaken, the code enforcement officer, when I called him and told him everything is taken care of, he was gonna go and do the reinspection. I thought it was a done deal. And I never heard anything until I went to close on the property.
Okay. All right, magistrate, you've done enough of these, you know that most of these are rental license issues. Most of the rental license issues are incorrect addresses on Papa. The city's certainly not responsible for that. He did make some effort, and not trying to make light of anything, as he just said, he assumed that it was completed. I mean, the error is certainly on them. You know, the city stands by a 75% reduction request.
There was no communication, Mr. Magistrate, the fact that this was still out there. The second I found out when I went to close, it was taken care of, and you could ask Ms. Williams that I have called her at least 5 times a week since the end, once I got past the situation with Mr. Levine.
Yeah, the problem on a lot of these continues to be this sort of basic problem of communication, which is, as you can see since you were watching them, the base problem is that, you know, people, for whatever reason, they either live out of country, they live out of area, they put the wrong address on Papa. The problem for the city ultimately, though, is that it's not the city's responsibility to make sure that the communication address is correct. Though in your particular case, yours is a little odder because it's pretty clear that the city sent the certified mail, but the record shows that it was returned.
Correct.
What address did you use? Was it?
My primary residence that I've been there for over 20 years.
I mean, I have a hard time thinking of any reason why a certified mail would be returned unless it was refused. And, you know, as you can tell, we've been here in most of these cases. I've reduced it to 15%, even though the city's asked for 30. In light of your circumstances, I'm willing to cut that. And hold on, let me do it this way. I can't go to 0 because that would be unfair to everyone else that has a very similar kind of problem. Though yours is kind of unique but I'll reduce it to 7.5%, which is $5,190 payable within 60 days.
Thank you, sir.
What was the number again?
5,000. I just deleted it. 5,190.
Okay, thank you. Payable,
60 days.
thank you. Have a good good day. You're welcome. And finally, other matter number 2, CE 19080519324 Pilgrim Road.
Which number is this? Number 2.
Case ending at 519-324 Pilgrim Road, date order 9/18 of 19. Fine started 10/4 of 19, ran for 84 days. $12,600, $150 a day. Date of compliance 12/27 of 19. New owner, which is the only mitigating factor listed on the application. This was purchased early this year for $360,000, now listed for $579,000. The only issues it ran fines for were external landscaping, that kind of stuff. No serious repairs or anything. I did notice some permitting. They did put some money into the property for an interior remodel of a rear unit, but that wasn't any kind of a blight or code issue. The city's asking standard 25% for new owner.
Can you tell me your name, sir?
Good morning, my name is Roger Francis.
So what are you asking me for, and why should I grant it?
Well, Your Honor, I had no clue there was any type of lien on this property until I got ready to sell this property. I've been coordinating with Monique Williams on this property here. I had no clue. I mean, they got me. I got the property. It's beautiful. I did everything. I mean, she's been there. It's beautiful.
You didn't do a title search when you bought the thing?
And that's the thing. The title company is now telling me, sorry, Roger, we missed it. I'm trying to go after them, but they're telling me they didn't see it. I would never have bought the property if there was a lien against it. And I've done everything.
Seems like that's the purpose of title insurance.
Yes. And if you see it's beautiful. I did everything to this property. And I'm asking you to waive this for me, if possible.
So what are you asking me for? You're asking me for it to go to zero?
As much as you can do. I mean, I would really appreciate if you could go to zero, for the simple fact that I spent a lot of money on this property. I mean, this property looks brand spanking new.
What's the 25%? I haven't done the math.
25% is $3,150. $3,150.
So the city has offered to reduce it from $12,600 to $3,150. That seems like a fairly generous offer.
Yeah, I would appreciate a lot more than that, Your Honor, because I've spent a lot of money on this property. Plus, COVID had got me upside down, and I'm selling the property now. I mean, my closing's the 15th.
Well, I mean, I can appreciate that, though. I mean, a 75% reduction because your title company made a mistake seems a pretty generous offer from the city.
I mean, right now my back is up against the wall, Your Honor. I mean, if you could bring it down to $1,000, I'd really appreciate your help.
I'll tell you what I'll do. Since 15% seems to be my number today, I'll reduce it to 15%, which comes out to $1,890, payable 60 days.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
You do like that 60 days today.
I know. Seems to be my thing today.
That was more exhausting than 5 cases should have been.
And back to the regular agenda.
1,890, 60 days.
I'm sure Cassandra was thrilled to have to come back.
Ready to go, Cassandra. Matter number 61, CE 200800271 1311 North Tamarind Avenue.
Welcome back.
Oh, what?
I said welcome back.
Oh, thank you. Cassandra St. Hilaire, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on August 25th. Certified mail was received on August 29th. Property was posted August 27th. I've had no contact with the property owner. The property was cited for 105.1, 1110.1, 1816A, 74-483, and 74-4C5. At this time, the property has complied with 1816A, 74-483, and 74-4C5. For the remaining two violations, the city is requesting an additional 30 days or $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
So we're only concerned about the building permit?
Yeah, for the fence.
So they put up a fence without a permit?
Yeah, put the fence without a permit, and also.
Is that the chain link thing I'm looking at there?
Yeah, it has to pass inspections and all of that.
You think 30 days is sufficient amount of time to get this
I mean,
accomplished?
they have a master permit already put in. They need. and
Fair
this
enough.
was-
In case CE 200800271, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 105.1, 110.1. The respondent has 30 days to come to compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Matter number 62, CE 2008023, 1103 18th Street, Unit 1.
Cassandra St. Hilaire, Code Enforcement with the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on August 25th. Certified mail was received on August 31st. The property and City Hall were posted on August 27th. I've had no contact with the property owner. This property was cited for 1813J, 1816A, 1816B, 7434A1J, and 74-4C5. At this time, the city is requesting a split order. For 1813J, the city is requesting an additional 30 days, $100 per day until compliance is achieved. And for the remainder of the violation, the city is requesting 5 days or abatement.
Well, typically, we don't get too many split orders on abatement. Tell me why you want to do it like that.
As you can see with the property, it's been, since I cited it, it's been growing and growing. It hasn't been cut, not one time. I do believe it is a habitat for vermin, rodents, and all other species. They just will not cut it, and I do not understand why.
Is there someone living in this home?
I believe so.
I assume you haven't had any contact with them.
Mm-mm.
You reached them, you noticed them through a certified mail and posting?
They did receive it on the 31st, so I know it went to a valid address. So no one has contacted me, and even I believe even our chronic nuisance officer, he's trying to cite them as well. That's how badly overgrown it is, and it's been like that for quite a while.
It does look pretty bad.
Yeah.
All right, in case CE 2008023, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18103J. I order the respondent to come into compliance with 18103J within 30 days or a fine of $100 per day may issue. I further find the property in violation of 18106A, 18106B, 7434A1J, and 74-4C5. Make further finding that those particular violations constitute a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city of West Palm Beach. I order the respondent to come into compliance within 7 days. In the absence of compliance, I hereby authorize the city of West Palm Beach to enter the property and abate any and all violations. I hereby assess the cost of said abatement against the property and property owner.
Matter number 63, CE 200802291, 1043 22nd Street.
Cassandra St. Hilaire, Code Enforcement with the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on August 26th. Certified mail was signed for on August 29th. The property and City Hall were posted on September 3rd. I've had no contact with the property owner. The property was cited for 1816A, 7434A1J, and 78-6. At this time, the city is requesting an additional 15 days or $50 per day until compliance is achieved.
All right, I see the outside storage. All right, I see clean and sanitary. I saw the garbage can. And I guess they don't have any numbers up?
No, it's like fainted. You can barely see it.
Oh, yeah, I see it sort of there. Okay. Have you had any contact with this person?
No, not them. Sorry, I had them confused with someone else.
And certified mail and posting? I
Yes.
can see the posting there. And you want to give them 15 days? That seems reasonable. It's not much to do. All right, case CE 200802991, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106A, 7434A1J, and 78-6. Respondent has 15 days to come to compliance or fine of $50 per day may issue.
Matter number 64, CE 200802994, 1005 22nd Street.
Sandra St. Hilaire, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on August 26th. Certified mail was sent on August 27th. The property and City Hall were posted on September 3rd. I've had contact with the property managers. This property was cited for 2232A, 1816A, 18162A, and 94482A. The property has complied with all the violations excluding 18162A and 2232A. At this time, the city is requesting an additional 30 days or $200 per day until compliance is achieved.
So the issue left here is the rental license?
Yeah, just the rental license and COU. We did the inspections. It's just a few things that arose during their inspection that needs to get taken care of before I can sign off on it.
And there are tenants living in this property?
There's tenants in there.
You've met them?
Yeah, I met them.
All right, in case CE 200802994, make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 2232A and 18162A. Respondent has 30 days to come to compliance or fine of $200 per day may issue.
Matter number 65, CE 200803339, 1030 22nd Street.
Cassandra St. Hilaire, Code Enforcement with the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on August 31st. Certified mail was received on September 3rd. The property and City Hall were posted on September 3rd. I've had no contact with the property owner. At this time, the city's request, the property was cited for 18106A, 2232A, 18162A, 34102B, 94442C1, 94482A, and 9471C. At this time, the city is requesting 30 days for code sections 18162A and 2232A or $200 per day, and 15 days or $100 per day for the remaining violations.
All right, let's take a look at this. So there's a rental license issue on this property.
Yeah,
So there are tenants on here?
there are tenants. I've seen them.
Had any contact with them?
No, not really. They just kind of hang around.
How do we know they're tenants and not owners?
They could be. I don't think so. The address is very, the mailing address is different, and it's not homesteaded or anything like that, and nor does the water account match.
Oh, the water account's in a different name.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, clean and sanitary. What's the clean and sanitary issue here?
Just like all the stuff that they have like stacked in the back, just sitting there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I see that. Certificate for the use. Inoperable vehicle, doesn't have a license on it?
Yeah, both of those vehicles there are not registered or operable.
All right, missing grass.
Missing.
I can see they're parking on an unpaved surface, okay. 3, outdoor storage, I saw, okay. All right, in case CE 200803339, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18162A and 2232A. Respondents have 30 days to bring that into compliance or fine of $200 per day may issue. As to the remaining sections, I find the respondent in violation. What did you say, 15 days you wanted to give them on that?
Yeah, 15 days.
15 days or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Matter number 66, CE 20090164503 14th Street.
Can we hear 66 and 67 together? It's literally the same thing, same owner.
Okay, matter number 67 as well, CE 200901655 515 14th Street.
What do we do with 66?
We're calling it with 67?
Yeah, it's the same owner.
okay, we
It's
wanna
the
do it
same
together?
violation for the same thing. It's just two different addresses.
Would it make sense to just dismiss one and pursue the other?
No, they're two different addresses. It's just for the same thing. It's for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Both properties were cited on September 12th. Certified mail was signed for on October 1st. The property and City Hall were posted on September 17th. I've had contact with the property owner. Both properties were cited for 94-6. At the time, I guess he has a, what do they call it? When the people get out of jail and they need somewhere to live?
Halfway house?
A halfway house, thank you. He's actually running a halfway house, and he doesn't have the proper licensing for that. But he is working with our planning and zoning, trying to get the right category and everything settled. So that's it for both properties. So the city is
Is
requesting.
that a permissible use in that?
No, you can't have a halfway house in the city. So we're trying to get him the proper licensing to get reasonable accommodation for sober home. So, yeah, but he only has a rental license on file, which he would not be able to run a sober home nor a halfway house if it was permitted with just that license. So they're working with him
Well,
on.
that would not be a permitted use no matter what he does, right?
No matter what unless he did say he's trying to get it into a sober home since he realized that he cannot do the halfway house. So in order to do that, he has to get the proper, he has to get reasonable accommodation to get a sober home.
Were the neighbors complaining about this? Is that
Yes,
how
it was
came to be?
actually a complaint from a neighbor. So at this time, for both properties, the city is requesting an additional 60 days or $50 per day until compliance is achieved.
So what the city is asking for him is to cease operation as a halfway house within 60 days.
Within 60 days, yeah.
I mean, ultimately, what he does with the property isn't relevant to this
Yeah,
particular.
just trying to give him time to find placement for the people that he has there as well, because he has been very responsive and he is trying to work with us.
Okay. All right, in cases, and you have observed it operating as a halfway house?
I'm sorry?
You have observed it operating in this
He
fashion?
told me it was.
Yeah, okay, so, good enough. All right, in case CE 200906164 and CE 200906165, in both cases, I find the property owner in violation of 94-6 and give them 60 days to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per day may issue.
Matter number 68, CE 20090265716 22nd Street.
Cassandra St. Hilaire, Code Enforcement with the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited September 18th. Certified mail was sent out September 21st. Both the property and City Hall were posted September 24th. I've had no contact with the property owner. The property was cited for 18162A, 2232A, 34102B, 7434A1J, 94442C1, 94482A, and 9471C. At this time, the property has complied with 34102B, 7434A1J, 94442C1, and 94482A1. So at this time, the city is requesting an additional 30 days for code sections 18162A and 2232A, or $200 per day, and 10 days for code section 9471C, or $25 per day.
Let's talk about the rental. How do we know this is a rental?
I met some of the tenants in there when I went to post, and I know there's people living in there, so that's
So you meant the
rental
tenants,
license comes into play.
and they explained
Yeah.
that they were tenants? And what's the outdoor storage?
They still have like tires just in the front that they need to remove. You can see it right there.
Okay. All right, in case CE 200900265, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of code sections 1862A, 2232A. As to those sections, I give the respondent 30 days to come into compliance or fine of $200 per day may issue. I further find the respondent in violation of 9471C. Respondent has 10 days to come into compliance or fine of $25 per day may issue.
Matter number 69, CE 20090268714 22nd Street.
Cassandra St. Hilaire, Code Enforcement with the City of West Palm Beach. This property was, This property was cited on September 18th. Certified mail was received on September 24th. Both the City Hall and the property were posted on September 24th. I've had no contact with the property owner. The property was cited for 1813B, 1813J, 1816A, 1816B, 18215B, 18265, 74-4C4, and 74-4C5. At this time, the city is requesting an additional 60 days for code sections 1813B and 1813J, and 10 days for or abatement for code sections 1816A, 1816B, 18215B, 18265, 74-4C4, and 74-4C5.
So tell me about this property.
This property, I believe it's vacant. I have not seen anyone in there, but from when I cited it up until now, it's still badly overgrown. It's in the between two properties with tenants in there. It's in the rear, it's badly overgrown in the front, and I believe that it is a habitat for vermin, insects, rodents, just because they're not maintaining it.
The house is boarded up.
Yeah, the front structure is boarded up.
Is there any evidence that anyone's taking care of this property at all?
From when I cited it until now, I have not seen anyone doing any maintenance on it, to be honest. So I don't believe so.
All right, what's the problem with the roof? Is that it? I guess I see
Just
it there.
the outdoor stuff, like the rotted wood and everything. To be honest, for 18265, I don't want that for abatement. I want to put it with the 30 days. I'm sorry.
The boarding certificate?
Yeah, the boarding certificate is, it's to acquire 30 days or the $100
All right, so
per day.
I can see you got some rot on the wood there. Clearly needs paint. Clean and sanitary, I can see. Excessive growth, I can see. Boarding, I can see. There's vegetation hanging in the right of way.
Yeah, I think in one of the pictures you'll see that it's so badly overgrown, it's coming out to the sidewalk and everything.
Okay. And certified mail and posting?
Yeah, certified mail was received on September 24th, and it was also posted on the 24th.
Does the certified mail go to a different address than the,
Yeah, I believe so. It was, it should be on there.
All right, in case CE 200900268, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18103B, 18103J, and 18265. As to those code sections, I order the respondent to come into compliance within 60 days, or a fine of $100 per day may issue. I make further finding the property is in violation of 18106A, 18106B, 18215B, 18265, 744C4, and 744C5. Order the respondent. I make further finding that said violations constitute a threat to the health, safety, and welfare. I shouldn't have included 18265 there, sorry. That these violations constitute a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city of West Palm Beach. The respondent has 10 days to bring them into compliance. In the absence of compliance, I authorize the city of West Palm Beach to enter the property and abate any and all of these violations. I hereby assess the cost of said abatement against the property and property owner.
Matter number 70, CE 200900285, 1104 19th Street.
Cassandra St. Hilaire, Code Enforcement with the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on September 21st. Certified mail was signed for on September 25th. The property and City Hall were posted October 15th. I've had no contact with the property owner. The property was cited for 1813B, 1813J, and 1816A. At this time, the city is requesting an additional 90 days or $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
How much was the fine you were seeking?
100.
Why 90 days?
I think, as you can see in the next pictures, they are working on it. It does look much better, so I just want to give them the time to try and bring it back to life and get all the proper permits that they need.
Well, they painted, huh?
Yeah, even in the last inspection I did, which was, I believe was like the 17th on Tuesday, it looks much better than what it was. I think you'll see it on here. They've done a lot to it. So I just want to give them the opportunity to iron out any extra permits or something that they might be missing.
You've had contact with the owner?
I haven't made any contact with them, but I see that they have permits and I see that they're doing it. They're responding without actually speaking to me, so hey.
Never understood why they don't respond to the code officer, especially if they're doing the work.
Yeah, they're doing it, so. Yeah.
It's perplexing, but we will give them credit nonetheless and
Yeah.
give them an extension to get this done. So in case CE 200900285, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18103B, 18103J, and 18106A. We will give the respondent 90 days to bring the property in compliance, or a fine of $100 per day may issue. I believe that's it, right? All right, seeing no further business before us, this meeting is hereby adjourned.